The new Modus Super Series champion.
Oh my word!
It's another incredible moment tonight.
Jeff Smith.
It's match down.
5-star performance.
Ball for big fish.
It's
Jeff Drayton!
Another triple 20. Double 12 for the first 9 darter. And he gets it. Absolutely fantastic from Lee Evans.
Tops for Taylor.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Squats
Back level.
Well, may divert his eyes up.
He had the opportunity to have 2 double 18s, but he went to treble 12 double 18.
If I was commentating now, I'd be telling myself off.
It's double 8. Don't apologise for that. That's a 12 darter and a beautiful leg.
He looks at double 8. And now double 4. And double
shot.
4
And
is
the match.
found for
Pose.
Carl Wilson.
It's the opening evening's worth of action in this Group B. We've got a former world champion, we've got a former Super Series champion amongst the 5 players that are all in the mix. We've got some Maverick flair tonight here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Richie Burnett is in fine form and fine fettle as ever. Scott Taylor has his own unique brand to bring to the sport. And Ron the Bomb Moulenkamp is hoping to explode into life here on the South Coast on this Thursday evening. Always happy to be here on a Thursday night is the asset Paul Nicholson. And you know what? We could have some real maverickness tonight. Look, we know what Richie Burnett can do. We know that Scott Taylor's got a little bit of flamboyance in his locker. Then you add in Ron Moulenkamp. We could have a little bit of fun over the next few hours.
Yeah, I think some of the experiences we're going to have over the next couple of nights could be a little bit icy, very competitive. But then when you throw in someone like Lee Evans, you have someone who can temper that little bit of flair and just show a little bit of calm exterior. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of nights to see what happens.
Well, this afternoon it was all about Devon Peterson. A superb day for him. Tops the table in Group C. 4 wins out of 5. And the improvement was marked, wasn't it?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because over the first 3 days, he averages between 76 and 77. You finish in 6th position. You've only won 2 games and you fear the worst. You think if you play like that, you're not going to succeed. But the thing is, he did play better. He won 4 games. He could have won 5. And that was purely because he played better, he scored heavier, and he was getting closer to what he's trying to achieve.
So he's top of the table on 8 points. James Marcroft and John O'Shea both on 6. It feels like a table of 2 halves as we head into the second session of that group, which will get underway from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll be watching that throughout the course of the afternoon. So to tonight's action where Group B gets underway, and we're going to see Ron Moulenkamp, Richie Burnett and Lee Evans enter the fray. Now we know with Lee that he's had his injury problems over the last few years. He's got over the other side of that now. And it looks like we're beginning to see the player that was getting a tall card a few years ago.
Yeah, I think we are. We've had a couple of chats with Lee over the course of 2026. And he's talked about how things have been difficult over the last 2 years. But what we saw from the previous series, it was an improvement in performance, an improvement in comfort on the hockey and on the practice board. And as we are in the middle of the season now, we're in the end of the summer series, so to speak, and then going into the final series in the next few weeks. If he doesn't taste success in the next 3.5 months, he will be very disappointed because he does believe that he's going back to the tour in January. So if he wants to build some extra momentum going into the colder months of the year, now's the time to do it.
Right, let's get some sense and perspective in terms of the odds then. This is how it looks. And it is Ron Moulenkamp who leads the way in terms of the odds. He is 13 to 8 on to win this group. Is that about right? Because he's in a good place with the game again. He's speaking positively. He's committing a bit more. The WF is what he wants to be competing in 2026. We saw him at the UK Open early this year. Actually travelled over to Riley's qualifier to play at the UK Open. if he's in a good place and his game's in a good place, he's going to take some beating.
Yeah, Ron's still got a lot to offer this game, and even though he's in the broadcasting circles, we've seen what some commentators, they don't have to be commentators from here, we've seen what some broadcasters can do. We've seen it with Devon, we've seen it with Scott Mitchell, we've seen it with Keegan Brown. They can still remain sharp as long as they're putting in the right amount of work, and Ron is really smart. He looks after himself, he's always very attentive, he's always very bright-eyed, and tonight he will be motivated.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can hear from Ron. Would you like to hear from Ron?
Absolutely.
Right, let's hear from Ron. It's 18+, gambleware.org if you're going to have a flutter. And Ron Moolenkamp is involved in the opening match tonight, and we can hear from the bomb now. Ron, good to see you again here at the Super Series, and I get the sense you're up for the challenge again tonight.
Yeah, 100%. It's warm here, and I like a challenge, and yeah, I feel good. So now, not from Monday, but from Thursday. So yeah, really looking forward.
It's been a little while since we've seen you last here at the Live Lounge. How have things been?
Yeah, good. The practicing going well. I'm playing some more tournaments, WDF, obviously Challenge Tour and stuff. So yeah, I make some progress. So that's good. The confidence is there, and the new management is there. It feels so good. So yeah, up for the challenge, definitely.
Nice to see the smile on your face. In terms of between now and the end of the year, have you set any goals, targets, anything in mind, maybe using this appearance to prepare for?
Yeah, 100%. The WDF circuit, I started to have a look again after all those years. I've been to Finland, Switzerland, and I'm going to Las Vegas, I'm going to Belgium. So yeah, there's a lot of tournaments. Just keep the rhythm, the challenge tours, and yeah, obviously with not too much pressure, but you want to go back to the Pro Tour, so yeah.
So Lakeside the goal in December then?
Hope so, yeah, that's the aim, 100%.
Back to this week, back to this group. What kind of opportunity is this, and how difficult a group is this going to be for yourself?
I think this is one of the hardest yet. I mean, there are so many brilliant players. They played, obviously, a few of them played already this week, and some belters coming into the group as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I like a challenge, so yeah, I'm up for it.
Nice to see you again. Great to see you in good form as well. We wish you all the very best tonight.
Thank you very much.
One of the hardest groups he's ever been involved in, and Ron Moolenkamp is a man who has played at a Champions Week in the past, and he takes on Carl Wilson in the opening match of 10 that we're going to be broadcasting tonight to you here on Pluto TV. Wilson, who finished third in Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. There was some decent stuff, but I can imagine you want to find a little bit more consistency up against Ron, age 37 from Lelystad, twice a weekly runner-up in the past. I have to say, looking rather lean these days as well. Taking on Carl Wilson, the 37-year-old from not just Tunbridge Wells, but Royal Tunbridge Wells. Runner-up in the previous series. The Kent Invicta always emblazoned on the shirt, and he'll be hoping to be victorious once this week comes to a close. He'll be hoping it's not curtains come the end of this group. And on the subject of curtains, there's our referee, Anton Mays, presiding over all the action on this Thursday night.
First leg, it's Ron to throw first.
And so we're going to see
Game on.
where Ron Moolenkamp is at. As I say, qualified for the UK Open back in March. He's had a decent campaign and looking to take the game a little bit more seriously again.
93.
Let's face it, Henry, Ron's been around a long time. We're talking 20 plus years. How many people realistically
100
can stay at the top level for more than 2 decades? Not many. This game is supposed to be hard. It is hard. And for most people, it's very up and down. Moolenkamp has thrown 2 or 3 different ways with various sets of darts along the way.
100.
This is just the next chapter in the journey. The most important thing is he's got the hunger to do it, because if he didn't, he would sit back, he would do what we do,
96.
and he'd give a very strong opinion. But he still wants to grace the hockey, and he still wants to win.
We'll come back to that point in the next leg, because Moolenkamp's in a
58.
decent position here. 6 and 187 to get the Knights account up and running.
93.
Takes off a treble with the last, leave himself on a 2-darter after 12.
That's a good sign as well, because he's just hit the 54. He wouldn't mind going back to back to have 2-darter tops.
100. Ron, you require 94.
Tops it is.
Game.
And
Shot on
tops,
the
well,
first
there's no
leg,
mistake.
Ron Mühlenkamp.
And Mühlenkamp
Second leg is
takes
Cole to throw first.
the opening
Game
rubber.
on.
But interesting point you make about his role as a pundit. Doesn't do loads of punchy work, but does the odd bit here and there. And look, you did a bit of work
100.
and you were sat in these commentary boxes whilst you were still an active professional player. How easy is it when you're sat in these chairs, you know, you've got a bit of guaranteed money, you don't have the pressures of having to provide when you're
97.
playing. How easy is it when you're sat in these seats to think, do you know what? The hunger to play isn't there anymore.
100.
It was different for me because around 2016 to 2020, I was still playing. And I still wanted to play. But it did get to the stage where handling the workload of what I was
100.
doing and the workload as someone who would ultimately have to go back to Q school at the start of 2019, I said, do you know what? In 2019, I'm going to have a year off playing
125.
and I'll go back to Q school in 2020. I did, but I never got my card back. And it was at that point I thought, do I really want to keep doing this?
134.
I asked myself that question for years, whilst doing what I'm doing now. But isn't it good that we had the opportunity to play here at the Modus Super Series? During 2020, I had the opportunity to start this off
Ron, you require
with the likes of Mark Webster and
170.
Dave Evans and Richie Edhouse and Martin Adams. So I played a lot that year to try and figure stuff out. But there are plenty of people at this level
98.
who do
Cole,
cross
you require
between
76.
both. And they have to ask that question, do I still want to be a top-level player? Ron does.
And there's two different examples we can get to. We'll get to it in just a second. As Wilson looks at the ball to level this game up just a
51.
smidgen high.
Ron, you require
And
72.
so this, for the break at a 2-0 lead. Another one of them leads double top. Tops it is.
Obviously, when he went to transition there, the dart didn't land in the fingertips the way he wanted.
52.
And it might not work out
Cole,
for
you require 25.
Ron the Bomb.
Well, we saw a few of these big missed numbers, didn't we, early on this afternoon in Group C?
We did by distances as well. That's a better shot.
No score.
That is too many.
Ron, you require 20.
Fair to say, a mess from start to finish.
Game shot on the
Southport
second
double
leg,
10, you
Ron
may as well give him
Mühlenkamp.
the leg. 2-0, Ron
Third leg
Mühlenkamp
is Ron to
leads.
throw first.
Yeah, but he's not
Game
one of
on.
those players like James Wade where he will always leave double top and double 10. He's a bit more dynamic. I know that sounds like a slight on James Wade. It really isn't.
81.
Because there are many different ways you can go for shots in this sport. Some people are stubborn and they want to leave the same thing all the time.
100.
Some people are a bit more flexible. I think Ron's like that. One of the things that I admire the most about him, in fact, is just how good his English is. Because when you sit and have a conversation with him,
100.
you forget that he's Dutch.
100%. And do you know what? It's interesting. Just before we started recording that interview earlier on in the series, he said, I just had to get my English head back on. Because he hasn't been over here for a little
140.
while, so he's just had to kind of get the lingo all back up to speed again.
His English head, which means on Saturday night he's going to be singing Vindaloo.
140.
Highly unlikely.
Well, be hoping that it's coming home to the Netherlands, his place in Champions Week.
97.
The Dutch fans are pretty cool in the World Cup.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. Second best fans in world football, in my opinion.
Behind.
Japan.
100. Cole, you
They
require
support their team and
164.
clean up after themselves.
Exactly. That's why they're the best.
Can Wilson clean up the 164? Triple 18 for the bull. Unable to muster, so Mullenkamp here for a 3-0 lead. May just get the 1 dart at tops for an opportunity to take real command of this game.
He's got to be aggressive with this one because of angle of attack. That's worked out well. That's actually quite low, which gives him a bit of clearance to the right-hand side.
Game shot
And that extra clearance because of the low dart did pay dividends.
Cole to throw first.
Well, this is a really good display so far from Mullenkamp. 15, 16, 15, average just over the 98 mark. Carl Wilson's not exactly got out the gate slowly, but Mullenkamp has found enough when he's needed to put himself into a 3-love lead.
I'm going to ask you a question this time, Henry, because I'd like your take on this. And don't anybody who's watching this think that this is me being negative towards Carl, because I hold him in high regard. I think he's a very good dart player. But has he regressed in the last 4 or 5 months?
I think what happened last year, I think maybe he's gone from being a steady player to then he hit the heights. I think he's just plateaued back to where I think his mean is. But because he had such a good year last year, it feels like it's a regression in comparison.
Yes, I exactly know what you're saying. I'm going to compare him to Damon Heta. He's not playing badly. He's maybe just not playing as well as he was a year ago. Damon Heta's playing some decent darts, but he's under pressure to perform just like Carl is when he comes here. There's always been expectation from us for this guy because we know how good he is. It's not quite working out the same way.
64.
Well, no, darts is different for Carl now. He is due to be a dad for the first time, and that we've seen in the past. Gary Anderson probably the best example of which, that when you do become a father and you have something else in your life that's more important than the sport, sometimes it just frees you up a little bit. Does he go tops here? Well, that felt like a half-hearted attempt.
No, I think that was 2 singles. We're starting to see that a bit more, Henry, from these really astute dart players. I think Dirk van Dijvenbode has started a trend here. You got 1, 3, 4. You still got the 18s.
Oh, you require 40.
But if you get it, you're not going tops.
Game shot.
That is really well done. Love to see stuff like that.
5th leg is Ron to throw first.
Because if he goes tops and he misses the first dart, there's no way he's going to be sitting on 40 points with 3 darts in hand. If you go for 2 singles, you are going to be sitting on 40 with 3 darts in hand. Just play the game. Play it for all it's worth.
134.
Now, I know you like patterns more than a knitting nana. 15, 16, 15, 16 of the darts acquired to win each of the legs in this
58.
contest so far.
Do you know what that looks like? Looks like me trying to fiddle with the volume in my car.
$100.
Yeah, this is smart from Carl. He understands that Muley, because we call him Muley, is off to a really good start in this leg. 44. And if Wilson doesn't change something, he's going to lose this game in 5 legs. There's a reason why Ron was favourite. Odds compilers don't often get it wrong. Having said that, they got it wrong this afternoon, didn't they? They had Devin Peterson as the outsider, and he ended up top of the table.
They got it wrong, but on the base of the Group A performances, got it right. Yeah, that was just the upturn in form that Devon had today. But anyway,
Ron, you require 144.
this to wrap this particular game up and to get the evening session off to the perfect start. Plenty of time from here, and he's going to need time. 4 left.
The irony of that shot. Look what he's done. He's given his eyes a wipe as if to say, is that in? Is that in? I think if he was Jordan Spieth, he'd say, go and get that.
For the avoidance of doubt, the shot was off after dart 1.
He has got a sense of humour, has Ron. He's a fiery character. He's got lots of fire in the belly, but he has got a sense of humour.
Let's just remember his game against Dan Webster here a few years ago.
140. Ron, you require 100.
Bit of a smelly encounter, that one, as Mullenkamp looks at a ton to win it 4-1. Double 10.
80.
2 match darts have come and gone.
Cole, you
You'll
require
feel as if he should be back
160.
for 3 more.
Time to find out. He will be back. You said it, southpaws and double 10.
95.
He's left it again.
Ron, you require 20.
Is he off to a good start?
The southpaw side.
Game shot.
And double
the
10
match,
does
Ron
come up
Moonencamp.
clutch for Ron Moonencamp. And he kicks the night off with a 4-1 victory against Carl Wilson. That was a really solid display. Legs won in 15, 16, 15, 17. Average of 88.5. 4 for 9 in terms of his finishing. That was just solid from the Dutchman. Coming up next, well, this might well be a game of maverick proportions as Richie Burnett takes on Scott Taylor. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Ron Moonencamp got the better of Carl Wilson by 4 legs to 1. So his night gets off to the perfect start. Game 2 sees Richie Burnett and Scott Taylor go head-to-head. A meeting between a former world champion and a former Super Series champion in Game 2 of the evening. And I can tell you now that Richie Burnett is in fine form. He is his forever jovial self, the 59-year-old Welshman, former weekly runner-up. And if his darting is as good as his talking, we'll tell you more about that in just a second, then we could be in for some night as Scott Taylor finishes off his practice darts
First leg is
with
Richie
an
to throw
underarm
first.
throw. But it's Burnett to
Game
get
on.
us underway. The 1995 world champion. Incredible to think that it's 31 years ago since
60.
he picked up the crown at the infamous Lakeside Club in Frimley Green, beating Raymond van Barneveld in the final. Subsequently played in 2 more
96.
world finals. Didn't quite defend his world championship crown in 1996. Lost out to the bronze Adonis Steve Beaton. Before then in 1998, Raymond van Barneveld exacting revenge on that
64.
1995 defeat. But what a career. And the fact that, well, there's the first Richieism of the evening. One thing that's never changed has been his ability to make the routine look hilarious because he'll just do something that's just absolutely bonkers.
You're the one that lined it up. You said tonight was going to be unpredictable.
137.
You weren't telling fibs. But I think our responsibility over the next couple of days is not just to call in the action
100.
for these two guys and the other three in Group B. We're going to have to try and find out the most ridiculous darting statistic associated with Richie Burnett. That's our challenge.
58.
Yes. I'll... Well, according to Richie, he's never hit a 170 in his life, but I get the sense that must be gobbledygook.
85.
No, that's not true.
That's according to him.
No, you can't play it as long as he's played without hitting a 170 checkout. I refuse to believe that.
60.
All I will say is I spent a bit of time in Richie Burnett's company filming a feature which will be edited rather scrutinously by our editors at Pluto TV.
100.
It's
Scotty
worth every
require
bit of the watch. There are
150.
some incredible stories in there. However, the story of leg one could be a big checkout for Scott Taylor.
132.
The 150 would have been some way to kick
Richie
proceedings
require
off for the former
92.
champ.
Interesting. He does love double
Angel in the
18
first
because he won his
leg,
world title
Richie
on it.
Burnett.
He's just won the first leg of this contest with 2 of them.
Second leg is
Interestingly,
Scott
you
to
may
throw
remember
first.
in the previous
Game on.
season, now we showed a little VT, didn't we, at the beginning of the programme. Richie Burnett took that checkout out, but how did he take out the 72? He went treble 12, then the double 18. Decided now to go 36, 36. He's
81.
evolving.
Trying to get down with the kids. He's 59 years of age. And he's still very, very vibrant. Look at Scott in the background. He knew this was going to be a live wire game. And I think he's got his heart set on
100.
enjoying it.
If there's one player that's going to crack amidst Richie Burnett's Burnettisms, it's going to be Scott Taylor. Because he is somebody himself who is very much up for the crack.
24.
So does that temper his intensity? Which is almost legendary here at the Live Lounge, by the way. That slight quivering of the lip, the angry look at the board when he wants to hit something.
84.
If he's playing Richie, is that lost a little bit?
Potentially, but even though he might have a laugh at what Richie's doing, he's one of those players that how he
59.
feels about a game is very much based on what he does and not what his opponents do. So if he hits a poor score, he reacts to that as opposed to what his opponent does. Or at least that's been the way that I've read him over the last
80.
few years of playing here, at least.
What did you make of Scott Taylor's play in the first 3
65.
days because it was a bit patchy for me. He was the only person to get a 100 average. He banged in a 99 as well, so
100.
if we round that up, it's going to be 100 again. Nobody else attained that, but he did in flashes.
Permission to be brutally honest in the next leg?
58.
Granted.
Richie,
Good.
you require 137.
Put it here, looking at the 137 to get the break and open up a 2-0 lead. It's got 6 darts, going to need 6 darts.
47.
A return for 90, but despite the crumb of comforts that he's had in this leg, may only get a dart at the ball to fashion the break chance.
132.
And he may have to take
Richie, you require 90.
said opportunity. Well, decides to go 18s first here, Richard. Now that's a dangerous ploy, but then the double 18s have worked a
Game still in the
treat.
second
He's
leg,
hit that
Richie Burnett.
4 times to win 2 legs.
Third leg is Richie to throw first.
A double, double, double.
Hang on. How many times is he going to hit double 18 in this match? Because genuinely, not that I'm trying to over-egg the omelette here.
135.
Let's say he wins every leg in this contest. Double-double on double 18. That would be 8.
83.
He could hit it another 3 times in legs that he doesn't win. He could hit it 11 times.
And if he thinks it's a double-in format, which it wouldn't surprise me if he just ran in the middle of the match
57.
did, he might hear another few times. But anyway, can I now give my brutally honest assessment?
Already granted.
You mentioned Scott Taylor being patchy, there's been some good stuff, some bad stuff. If I'm going to be honest,
42.
it's kind of been the story of the last year for Scott. Even the last time he won here, he was saying his own words. He literally said in his own words, I played rubbish, but I won. The game is there,
140.
but it's not there as often or as consistently, shall I say, as it once was.
Yeah, but you get out what you put in. Scott's already talked about the fact that he's
57.
not doing tours. He's not playing a great deal of stuff. He's doing the bare minimum. If he wasn't succeeding here,
60.
he might just play locally in Bolton and Greater Manchester. That might be it for him. In fact, this season on the Challenge Tour, he's played 5 events. Just 5. That's what he does these days. He's got other
93.
priorities.
Richie, you acquire 109.
Look, I think people forget sometimes that life can get in the way of professional dart players. And I'm sure Richard Burnett can confess to some of those stories. 54 left, so should be a single 18, Richie, shouldn't it?
53.
He's going to go single 20 for double 18, so 3-0 Beckons.
90.
But how big is this
Richie,
big
you
20
acquire
going to be?
56.
It's not going to be a big 20 at all. I mean, go figure.
16.
He's at double 18 4 times, and then he's
Scott,
gone
you
for 2
require
tops and missed it
136.
so high, it might as well have snow on it.
On 3-6 here for Taylor, another one of them, that's that perfectly. Just underneath.
96.
Tried to rattle the cage of
Richie,
Richie,
you
was
acquire
unsuccessful in doing so. So this is for 3-0.
That's a
Game
great
shot on the
dart.
third leg, Richie Burnett.
A wonderful marker, and you can see how he used
Fourth
it.
leg is Scott to throw first. Game on.
You mentioned that Muhlenkamp's first performance was the epitome of steady.
140.
It was effective. Oh, this from Burnett. It's not bad. Average isn't that high, but the doubles are excellent.
Well, we spoke about it this afternoon, didn't we, in Group C? Sometimes that's all you need to do. If you're not scoring well, when you get opportunities, and usually you're going to be second
92.
to a double in those particular circumstances, you've got to take the chances when they arise. The problem you got is you're up against,
135.
on form, possibly one of the best power scorers we have here in Scott Taylor.
When he's on form. Start of the match, Scott was all smiles.
26.
But if there was going to be a football song directed towards Scott right now, it would be "You're Not Smiling Anymore." Because he's got his game face on.
96.
Well, in a couple of seconds' time, if he's not careful, they might be chanting cheerio at him. However, even a maxi won't leave Burnett on a finish here.
140. Scott,
We haven't had one tonight yet.
130. $58.
He's not out of this leg, Burnett.
$60.
Never mind. He's
Scott, you
probably
require
drawing a line under
72.
this now. He's thinking that Taylor from 6 darts is going to get this leg in the bank.
2 12s
Game shot
to
on the
reduce
fourth
the
leg.
deficit back
Scott
down
Taylor.
to 2. Scott Taylor's first leg of the night
Fifth
to
leg is
14
Richie to
darter.
throw
Best
first.
leg, actually,
Game on.
so far of the contest. Burnett with a chance, though, now to win the match on serve.
97.
There you can see 56 darts for the first 3 legs. I'm not really sure what the right word is to describe that level. 56 is just it's a dart better than 19 darts per leg. You average that for a Group B, you're not going to be making Saturday. So improvements will have to be found.
140.
This could be the sticky game that if you can get out of it with a win, you'll think, okay, that could have been a lot worse, so let's take the points and let's move on. Let's move on with something better than this.
It's the Darton equivalent of being 2 over par at
58.
Augusta after 2 days. It's okay, but you're not going to make the cut.
$40.
Do you know, if I came across a lamp on a beach and I was giving it a good shine and it gave me a wish, if I could
60.
give Richie Burnett 30 years of smooth technique and an incredible amount of... If I give him Luke Humphrey's mentality, I wonder how much he would have won.
180.
I really do wonder that a lot.
Well, the next game, I'm going to talk a little bit more about
60.
Richie and that World
Richie,
Championship
you require
success.
44.
Because it looks like this game is pretty much done. Double 60 to wrap up a 4-1 win.
12.
Not to be this time, but he will be back for 3 more.
Ironically, Scott is averaging more than Burnett at this stage.
83.
But
you
Richie
require
has had
32.
4 times as many darts at double.
Can he pick up the points?
16.
But still, Burnett cannot bag that first win. Well, Taylor scared the 136 a couple of legs ago. What can he do with the 144 to save the game?
Scott, you require 144.
This would be some save. Watch out.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Just give him the
Scott
name
Taylor.
Vizina. What a save that is. 3 pure shots, no deflections, and that is what Scott Taylor can do.
6th leg is Scott to throw
An
first.
incredible shot.
Game on.
There are 144s, then there are 144s like that. First dart, lands. Second dart, lands. No deflection. Double 12, pure, brilliant.
And all of a sudden, this game is back on throw once more.
Yeah, and Richie had 5 match darts.
100.
I'm not really sure what the apology was for.
96.
Can you imagine apologising for doing something brilliant? You know, maybe Justin Rose in 1998 at Royal Birkdale chips in for birdie on the 18th from about 60 yards.
80.
Oh, sorry. Chris Gale hits a 6. Sorry about that.
If there's one thing I hate here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth is the over-apologising that we see. How many times do you see apologies around here? Don't apologise. Do your job.
One of them's too many. Don't get me wrong. We've got some lovely people playing darts on the stage. Scott's a great guy. I really like him. Love Richie. Everybody does. But there are tendencies within this sport that people despise. Do you remember
81.
Deal or No Deal with Noel Edmonds?
Yes, been rebooted.
And how they always used to say, oh, well, we've spent so much time together. Open the box,
57.
man. I don't care about what you do together. Open the box. That's why you're there. Apologising on the stage is the equivalent of that situation. I don't care. Just hit the
98.
double.
Scott, you require 130.
Let's alert Scott. Don't apologise if this goes. Oh, double 5 for another one. For another big
Shot
one.
on the 6th leg.
It was the 144
Scott
the previous leg. He's backed it up with the 130. And for 3-0 behind, he has taken us all the way.
To throw
He's not apologising now, is he?
Game on.
It's a very similar shot to the 144. 260s and just a little bit above and to the left. That's why we like to watch him
45.
play. He's just got fireworks in abundance. And earlier in the week, he didn't play well. Ring rust is an
48.
understatement. But by Tuesday, something started to happen. By Wednesday, he was in the top 3. And in Group B is a win of sorts. We've seen him do it before. Slow start of the week,
81.
come to Group B, and then he wins it. And then he finds enough on a Saturday and wins again. I just wonder if it's going to be history repeated.
93.
And that, a decent burst. 14, 18, 15. The 2 5-visit legs have come on throw.
Well, look at the clusters here. 56 for the first 3. 47
100.
for the next 3. That's about 95.5 to 96. That's good. And there aren't many people putting 3-leg clusters together like that this week.
59.
And we've seen it in the past. Remember the first week he won here. He was playing okay. Andy Bolton was the best player that week. But then in the final, Taylor turned up, averaged 109 in the final. And
41.
the X Factor got cancelled on Saturday, not for the first time on TV.
Yeah, I remember when someone putting in a 109 in a final game on a Saturday night was
45.
record numbers. Nowadays, 117 from Littler is no longer the record because Danny Van Tripe has done better.
85.
And he only averaged 120.24 in that game. Should have broken the record. Yes, I know I'm nitpicking.
86. Richie, you require 149.
Really good thinking from Scott. Are we going to get a 3rd ton plus checkout in a row? We still can, but if Taylor were to finish
121.
this would be 9/10
Scott,
of
you
ridiculous.
require 170.
But it's treble 20 twice again.
And there's not a player who is more accustomed to hitting this finish in this building than that man there. The record holder, 7 of them.
48. Richie, you require
But he couldn't
20.
find it there, and that could spell the end of what has been a rather spirited comeback. 7-7, having missed 7 darts and a double to win this game, make it 8.
This
Scott,
is
you
very
require
gettable.
122.
4 18s and bull this time. He could indeed find himself on double 7.
$97.
The width of a wire away,
Richie,
but
you
in these
require
circumstances, a miss is as good as a mile. Burnett's going to get 2 more match darts, a double 2. He has had
5.
double digits in terms of match darts, but still hasn't been able to convert. Scott Taylor's already missed the ball. He's going to get 2 more. At least he should
Scott,
get 2 more
require
and a targeted
25.
choice to win it.
Richie can't believe it. Taylor's got 12s. Taylor hits
Shot.
12
And the match.
and
Scott
ends
Taylor.
up winning the last 4 legs of the contest to somehow record a first win in his first game of Group B. That was full of highlights. The averages weren't that great, but the checkouts from Scott Taylor, they were rather special. He wins by 4 legs to 3. Ahead of us, welcoming back Lee Evans.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. So before the break, Scott Taylor came back from 3-0 behind to get the better of Richie Burnett by 4 legs to 3. So the last player we're yet to see this week is Lee Evans, but that is going to change right here, right now, as he takes on Ron Meulenkamp in Game 3 of our night. Now, we did have a Lee Evans last week of Welsh variety, but this version of Evans is somebody that we've seen before and somebody we've seen win here before. In fact, fun fact for you fun fact fans out there, he was the last player to win a week at Ye Olde Livey League, because he won week 5 of the first series before we then rebranded into this model, beating Neil Duff in the final. So he can always have pleasure as the last person to win a final at our previous setup in Southampton.
First leg is Lee
And
to
he'll be
throw
hoping
first.
to restore those former glories here.
Game on.
You're never going to let that go, are you? If I were to trundle down to Southampton and see the old studio, is there some sort of plaque there that
100.
says, "'Twas the site of Ye Olde Livey League"?
Well, it was of a time long, long, long ago. And just like all history, we should keep it alive by talking about it.
22.
It's 2022, Henry.
A long, long time ago.
No, it wasn't.
In darting terms, it's a long time ago.
I've got condiments older than that in my
81.
fridge.
Well, you need to sort out your condimenter. Sure.
Duh. What we're saying, Lee, is it wasn't that long ago.
180.
And it was with darts like that, which has
140.
accelerated Ron Meulenkamp into the position that he's in. Did win the opening game of the night, got the better of Carl Wilson by 4 legs to 1.
42.
I'm a big fan of Lee Evans. I think he plays at a very high level. I think a healthy, fully firing Lee Evans is a
100.
very dangerous darter. If you were to speak to Luke Humphreys, he's the world number 2. He's one of the best dart players of the last 10 years.
140.
He holds Lee Evans in high regard.
You require 80.
He's a proper player. Don't be surprised if he goes through this group like a knife through butter.
75. Ron, you require
A couple of
117.
opportunities to win leg 1 have come to pass. What can Meulenkamp make of the 117? Triple 19. Would have given him a poke at top, Sir Evans.
57.
Couple in hand. At
Lee,
the
you
tricky
require
twos.
5.
It's only tricky if you think it's tricky. If it's one of those doubles that sits nice in your eye line, you might love it. Having said that, there are many players who actually like it.
3. Ron, you require
Ron's
60.
not enjoying that one bit. Tops it is to give Meulenkamp an early break. Needs a break to win this game. However, the southpaw side doesn't come to his aid, and so Evans
Lee, you require
finds himself
2.
trapped in the madhouse.
Yeah, not for
the
long.
First leg, Lee Evans. Second leg is Ron to throw first.
The thing is, if you like
Game
tops, you get to like double one as well. Same sort of shot. Same elbow position. Same feel in front of your eye. The reason why people don't like double one is because of the jeopardy of
43.
it. If you go low on tops, you still got 10s. You go low on 1s, you got nothing.
You made a really good point the last time we commentated together about
100.
proximity to the board, and actually it's more about the breakdown than anything else, the reason as to why players like certain numbers, because Connor Scott, who is the ultimate in
41.
terms of students of the game, He says his favourite double on the board is pretty much double 13, double 14 because it's straight down the middle. It's perfect in terms of sight, in terms of release. The problem is the breakdown if you come inside of those targets.
95.
Or actually, double 16 isn't sat in the best part of the board, but the breakdown is pretty much perfect.
78.
Weirdly, double 16's my favourite. I don't know whether it's just because I went for it for many, many years and became accustomed to it.
133.
But I like it because of the breakdown and I like the position of it. I also like the position of double 18.
140.
I think it's learned behaviour. With Rob Cross, it's very much learned behaviour on the 18s, the treble and the double. And pound for pound, there's no better player in world darts at treble 18 and double 18 than Rob Cross.
95.
Well, there's the 9. That changes the plan. Trying to get a big chunk now. It's a fairly sizable chunk.
Lee requires 78.
Sizable chunk, however, Evans here have an opportunity to double up. 66 left. 16 for Bull. Bull it is.
53.
That was okay,
Ron,
but just
require
pitched a bit too
110.
high.
The 18's now for Ron. That's an interesting look.
86.
Fair to say that Ron is not attaining the
He
same
required
levels as his first
25.
game tonight. Just finding a bit of a lull. What on earth is going on the single 9? Is there some sort of force field around it?
21.
It's ridiculous how many
Ron,
times
you
today
require
that single 9 has been
24.
missed. That doesn't look very inviting to me. Look at that.
No
That's
score.
ridiculous. For some reason,
Lee, you require 4.
I thought there was no way he could miss that on the outside. I thought he'd miss it on the inside because the barrel was blocking it. Not 2-0 on double 1.
2.
It could have been.
But
Ronnie
Madders doesn't
required
come to his
24.
aid there. And so another tilt at double 12 for Moolenkamp. Don't need to give him more explanation there, do I?
1 down. Double 12.
Game shot on the second
was the
leg,
dessert.
Ron Moolenkamp.
And that was right
Third
in
leg
the
is
middle.
Lee to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with Ron Moolenkamp. He's got fast hands and very fast feet. He's done a bit of training at his brother's gym in the Netherlands.
100.
Got to say, he looks remarkably well, does Ron? Looks very, very lean.
There was one point in his career where he looked unwell.
140.
And that's where he made a huge change. The one thing that's the most impressive, taking darts out of it, I talk about lifestyle. You probably remember
100.
watching Phil Taylor back in the 90s. Not you, Henry. You're too young. But his weight went up and down and up and down and up and down. He tried loads of different diets. And I applaud Phil for trying different diets. But he wasn't able to keep it off.
180.
When Ron got the weight off, he kept it off. When Luke Humphreys lost the weight, he kept it off.
140.
Andy Fordham lost the weight, put it all back on.
60. Lee require 161.
So 161 here for Evans to put himself 2-1 to the good.
Well, a bit of irony, having messed about on double one all game, then he took out a 1-6-1 finish on the ball, and he wasn't far away from it.
121.
But far enough away to give Meulenkamp an opportunity at this. But he's not going to get a poke at the ball at the back of hitting treble 17 either.
Come on, Lee. Show us where that single 9 is. There it is.
Game shot.
There's that as well. That was a lot better. 14 data from Evans.
Game on.
Best leg of the match by 5 darts.
It's getting better, but I get the sense neither player are enjoying the pace of this.
60.
Well, Lee's never been the quickest. He used to be a lot slower than this, by the way. But Ron's always been very meticulous.
Well, Lee's always been open about the fact that when he was struggling with injury and he had the shoulder problems, that he
55.
had to slow the game down. It wasn't a deliberate ploy. It wasn't to put the opponents off. He had to do that. Otherwise, he would have gone through some excruciating pain. It was the way that he got through what was a very challenging time
100.
in his career. But now out the other side. And as I mentioned, last time we saw him here, got through to the semi-finals on the Saturday, hit a 9 darter on the Saturday against Jack Aldridge. I think the problem was that his semi-final game was a little bit after the Lord Mayor's show in that respect. I think he found it very difficult to then come back down following a performance of that magnitude.
Wouldn't you?
96.
Imagine hitting a 9 darter in front of that crowd, and then all of a sudden you've got another job to do, and your mind starts going into tornado mode.
$140.
6 from here. Meulenkamp will be thinking to square this game up at 2-2.
Should go bull. Okay, just do that then. There's nothing wrong with that. If you get the 140, you're leaving 3 darter. If you go bull at 25, you're getting a 2 darter either way.
Requires 65.
Just playing the odds, but obviously runs a bit more aggressive.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
Well, Meulenkamp's first 14 darter. We're back on terms at 2-2. Although, admittedly, you wouldn't expect a bomb to be passive, would you? Okay, maybe a bath bomb.
140.
You obviously haven't seen the Jaws one, have you?
I've never watched Jaws. Actually, no, I tell a lie.
You don't have to watch the movie to know what a Jaws bath bomb is.
I don't. What is a Jaws bath bomb?
You drop it in the bath, all of a sudden it starts floating around and fizzing, and all of a sudden, when it gets to a certain level of fizzing, it turns into red. As if it's, you know, you get the picture.
140.
I've seen a feature-length documentary on the making of the film Jaws without ever watching the film Jaws.
No offense, Henry, but that's a bit backwards.
I know, but it was a Tuesday afternoon, and there was nothing else on the telly, so I decided to put the National Geographic channel on.
$135.
What did you do with your dentures that afternoon? Seriously, Henry. There are things you can do. Just stumble upon a Jaws documentary. Of course you did.
Haven't you before?
No, I can't say that I have. Apart from Shark Week.
40. Lee require 86.
Well, Lee, you did have a 1-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, how about a 3-2 lead?
46.
I think it's imminent.
Really good setup.
Lee
Second treble, leads on a 2 darter, but could be academic because the standard in this game is beginning to be raised. Sluggish first couple of legs, but the standard bearer to win legs now is 5 visits. 14, 14, and now a 15 for Lee Evans to put himself 3-2 in front. 5 legs played, all 5 going with throw thus far.
And this one's probably going to be the same, judging by that start.
180.
Muhlenkamp is butchering the treble 20. That's now 4 maximums. Here comes another.
140.
Not quite. Would be somewhat ironic if somebody hits a 9-darter against Lee Evans in this series, so he knows how it feels from the other side of the coin.
28.
Well, 4 180s, as you can see, to Muhlenkamp's
39.
name. We saw Devon Peterson find 5 this afternoon in a earlier game.
Yeah, we didn't get many 180s this afternoon, but we did get them in a couple of clusters. Devon had 5 in a 4-3 victory against Adrian Gray, and Adrian's only win against James Marcroft included 4 for Adrian. The rest of the day, not that many.
I was going to say, a lot of the big 180 hitting came later on in the session. Certainly took their time this afternoon.
81.
Well, Evans here has overturned the throw. He's got 6 to 197 to get it wrapped up for 2.
140.
More than approach that is on a single to double up the 12.
He's had 15 darts at double in this game. In Lee's mind, that's enough to win 2 games.
You require 57.
Although, admittedly, a lot of it was down to the faffage at the beginning of the contest. But is there going to be any faffing around now?
Game shot.
Knows the answer, and Lee Evans is off to the perfect start. He gets the better of Rob Muhlenkamp by 4 legs to 2. For Muhlenkamp, he won his opener, but condemned to defeat there. And that the tail of the tape. Lee Evans, yes, he missed a bunch of darts and a double early on, but he really did rally towards the end. He won 3 out of 4 legs in 14, 15 and 15. Coming up next, Carl Wilson and Richie Burnett go head to head. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where on this wonderful Thursday evening, on record-breaking Thursday evenings in terms of temperatures here in Portsmouth, 31 degrees Celsius was the outdoor temperature this afternoon, and the action is hotting up on the stage as we head towards nightfall. And it is Carl Wilson and Richie Burnett who participate in Game 4 of the evening, both looking for their first wins. For Carl, he lost out 4-1 to Ron Moolenkamp.
First leg is Carl to throw first.
In his opener, whilst for Richie Burnett, he lost out 4-3 to Scott Taylor. Before the break, we saw Lee Evans in his opening match get his first win of the night, getting the better Ron Moolenkamp by 4 legs to 2. So
85.
things seemingly evening their way out as far as this league table is concerned. And I know it's
40.
early days in this group, but the loser of this one, just because of the way the fixtures have panned out and the results have panned out up to press, even at this early stage, will find themselves with a bit of chasing to do.
123.
I don't think it's panic stations for Carl. 3 matches, he's had the highest average so far, and he didn't win against Moolenkamp. He got the good version of Ron. He just couldn't time his shots to perfection because he was against the throw.
59.
It just so happens that we've just had Ron on the hockey for 180s and he lost. So stats are out the window tonight. So as we always say,
97.
win the situation. Get yourself into position and don't let yourself down.
$89.
Well, I'm looking for the 25. Gets the bonus of 25 more by hitting the bullseye. Leaving himself first to finish, but what pressure can Burnett apply?
100.
Well, singular ton leaves himself on something, even if it is a biggie. Hit by a couple of ton toppers, Richie, in his opening game against Scott Taylor. I've got to say, the approach play, the ball management of
Richie, you require 164.
Carl Wilson is, at times, nothing short of exemplary.
Yeah, I agreed with you until that last start. What was he doing with 75? Now, I know he was going for treble 13 to leave 36, but really?
43.
Now he's treble to double
you
instead of
require
single to
62.
double. Why wouldn't he go on 17s, Carl? This is usually where he hits it. There you go.
Shot on the first leg, Carl Wilson.
In my face.
Second leg is Richie.
I stand by the fact that the management was subject to a little bit of scrutiny, correctly. However, if you can do that, touche.
60.
Some people will literally do anything that's possible to leave 36. Whether it's treble 13, double 18.
180.
Or even hitting a 25 early in a leg to leave 396 or 356. Seen it done many times.
44.
But you are right. His use of the bullseye is exemplary, as you put it.
Well, I didn't know it was possible to put a commentator's curse mid-sentence, but turns out it is the case.
You're not wrong. Let's be frank here, Henry.
43.
These are amateur players. Some of them have played pro. Carl hasn't yet. If you put him with established professionals for 12 months, do you think some of his approach shots would change? I think they would. Because I think he's the kind of person who looks around and, why did you do that? Oh, yeah, okay, I can put that into my game. If he spent 6 months with Mike DeDecker,
21.
His game would evolve.
158.
So in truth, he's progressing at a decent rate, but still just a little bit green around the gills.
Yeah, just the odd shot. Like that 75 on 13s.
98.
What he is doing very well here is he's putting in one of those classic Carl Wilson performances where he's strolling around the 95
60.
average mark.
Carl, you require 60.
He's giving himself chances. And if he's like this, he can steamroll players in about 7 or 8 minutes.
50.
Say it all the time, when an opponent's not on a finish, you don't want to come inside double 10.
$97. Carl, you require 10.
It's not the ideal double for the way his darts sit in the board, so that's when the split comes,
shot on
and
the
there you
second
have
leg,
it. A
Carl
2-0
Wilson.
lead for Wilson.
Third leg is Carl to throw first. Game on.
Split, then the hit.
Why does that dart shirt remind me of something? I just don't know what it is.
We're on about Carl here.
Yeah.
24.
Well, the right sleeve looks like the badge for Kent Police, even though it isn't.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Brentford's new home kit.
As I say, we've got the
99.
Invicta on there, which, if you're tuning in on Tuesday, we had a fantastic history lesson about it. I won't repeat it at this time
60.
of night because it might send 1 or 2 people to sleep.
Every county in England has its own story, dating back many
44.
centuries. Kent is known as the Garden of England. Very famous
125.
for growing grapes, growing different types of berries.
So a grape isn't a berry.
100.
It's going down the line of strawberries, cherries, and grapes, as in they have some great vineyards in Kent. Some of the best in the UK.
140.
Oh, the pain of it all.
That might be the best replay we've ever
100.
shown here.
Carl, you require 152.
All right, 152 here for Wilson to move 3-0 to the good. It's been a try night since winning the first 3 legs of his game against Scott Taylor. Richard Burnett has lost each of the last 6 legs. It cost 2 matches.
44.
That was one of my fears for this match,
Richie, you require
that
158.
he was going to be wounded by the fact that he lost from 3-0 up. Well, he doesn't have to go 60. He can go 19s. But he's a stubborn dart player on the treble 20. Always has been, always will be.
58. Carl, you require 108.
So 108 here to go 3 to the good. Double 16. Well, do you know what? You
76.
fancied it, didn't you?
Richie, you require 100.
But the way that first dart was sitting, I thought he might have gone 11 tops. Speaking of tops,
60.
not found. And remember, Richie did miss 10 match darts
Carl, you require
against
32.
Scott Taylor. So he's missed a lot of darts in a row now. And he does find
Shot on the
himself
third
3-0
leg,
down.
Carl Wilson. Fourth leg is Richie to throw first. Game on.
A lot of people have asked me over the years, how do you play against Richie Burnett when he's in this kind of vibrant mood? It's a lot easier than it looks. You just ignore everything he does.
140.
It's like he doesn't exist. You give him space. You walk a little bit further around when you get your darts out of the board.
140.
Because he does command space. You don't walk into the exclusion zone at all. You just get on with your game.
70.
Yeah, social distancing wasn't invented for COVID. It was invented for Richie Burnett when he gets into the rhythm of one of his scorpion kicks.
He's not the only person who's done that.
41.
I think Mensah Suljovic has kicked more people than Richie Burnett.
I'll never forget
140.
when Richie Burnett was playing at Ye Olde Ivy League. I remember him coming up to us in the academy and said, "You only ever booked me to play here because of my manoeuvres."
96. Richie required 151.
Sounds like a Richie thing to say. That's when you do bring in the 39. He's going to get 2 more darts at tops. Or at least he should. Here comes a big amount of pressure.
140. Richie
If
required
Richie misses
58.
this, it could be nil. It's only 1.
18.
3 darts at a double in the match.
84.
And that might be that.
For 4-zip. And to get himself back on track.
59.
Bullseye miss for the match. Burnett, who's already missed 3
Richie
darts at a
required
double in this
40.
game, is going to get 3 more to keep his hopes afloat just about.
Game.
Well,
Shot on
just
the fourth
about
leg,
flicks in
Richie
the double
Burnett.
10. And he
5th leg is
ends
Cole to throw first.
a mini run
Game
of
on.
legs lost. He lost each of his last 7 up to that point.
$96.
We're going to have to start some sort of reactions reel of Richie, whether it's disappointment or ecstasy.
I'll tell you a game we've never seen here, and I would love to see here. I want to see Richie Burnett against Rob Collins.
44.
The man of steel and the man of many faces.
It's not out of the question. If everybody tuning in
81.
to our live broadcast on Pluto TV, wherever you're tuning in from, we are very happy to have you with us. You know that Richie is a character. If you've watched his Tungsten Talk, we've spoken
100.
about lots of different parts of his career. And you know how honest he is. If you were to have him as a person put in any series or movie,
134.
what would it be? Think about that at home, wherever you are. Just think about what you'd want to put him in. There's someone to my left who is absolutely
140.
clamoring for my attention because he's got some sort of input. But if I keep talking, he can't talk. So everybody at home, think about what you'd put him in. Would you put him in
140.
Goodfellas? Would you put him in The Shawshank Redemption? Or would you put him in, I don't know, Star Wars?
There's only one film for it, The Truman Show.
177.
Truman Show
require
with Richie
50.
Burnett.
Could you imagine? Anyway, double 16 to get it wrapped up 4-1.
Game
Double
shot. And the
16
match,
is found
Wilson.
to seal a 4-1 win for Carl Wilson, but for Richie Burnett, it's as bad a start as it could possibly get. 2 games, 2 defeats, and he's already trying to make up lost ground. Wilson a 4-1 winner. Coming up next, we're going to see Scott Taylor and Lee Evans go head-to-head. So, welcome back, and we are at the midway point of the night here in Group B. And before the break, we saw Carl Wilson get the better of Richie Burnett by 4 legs to 1. Average just underneath the 90 mark, 4 from 8 in terms of his doubling in that contest. For Burnett, 2 games played, 2 defeats to his name. As for these two, the winner of this will be the first player on to 4 points in this particular group at the halfway stage of the evening. So an opportunity to really hit the front. Scott Taylor came back from 3-0 behind to
First
get
leg
the
is
better
Scott to throw
of Richie
first.
Burnett 4-3 in his opening game.
Game
Whereas
on.
for the Evans, he had to defy the 4-180s of Ron Moulenkamp to run out a 4-2 winner.
83.
It was a real tidy display from Evans without it being really spectacular. Did miss a few darts and a double at the beginning of the game, but then rattled off a trio of 5 visit legs to eventually get the game won.
85.
You've been here quite a few years, Henry, as have I.
85.
And we know that some people have just got the Group B knack. And I think Scott Taylor might just have it.
Yeah, he's certainly not one for the early mornings, is he?
121.
No. Even though in Series 6, in Champions Week, in Group A, he went at it with Tom Sykes for 3 days, and it was an incredible battle.
84.
But let's not forget that he won Week 12, and he came into that Group A after playing 6 days from the previous 7.
140.
I will be very, very surprised if we ever see anybody play the amount of darts that he did in Series 6 in succeeding in Week 12 and Week 13. It was borderline unfair.
Well, it nearly happened in the series after, if you remember rightly, because Cam Crabtree won Week 12 and then lost the Champions Week final as Taylor pinned Tots with leg 1.
Second leg is Lee to throw first.
He left himself on a double to win that Champions Week. The only problem is Andreas Harrison pinned a 1-2-1 to snag the title from underneath his nose.
140.
Oh, don't tell me there's going to be a new trend of using that camera.
59.
It's usually the Modus Super Series stalwarts that start these trends because do you remember the Conan Whitehead stare off? Now all of a sudden we've got dartboard cam with Scott Taylor. Commence forehead close-up. Funny creatures, you know, dart players. They used to be scared of the cameras years ago. Now they can't get enough of them.
45.
I love the fact they've decided to pick the camera which we cannot zoom in as the one that they're going to use all their facial expressions for.
All right, I don't think they know that much. Does Scott Taylor strike you as the kind of guy who thinks, oh, do you know that camera? That doesn't zoom, that one. But that one does. I know my cameras.
42.
Because they can't zoom it in during the game because it'll put the players off because it's right above the dartboard. There's some behind-the-scenes stuff for you all.
94.
Fair to say that Scott is out of this leg.
100. Lee requires 76.
Just up to Evans to make it official. News just in. He's got a dart for the leg.
Game shot on the second leg.
Newsflash, it's
Lee
1-1.
Evans. Third leg is Scott to throw first. Game on.
We had a chance to chat to Lee. He lives in a part of England that is incredibly close to a Royal Air Force base.
100.
Where he lives, he regularly sees things coming in and out on very impressive aircraft.
Yeah, I can't believe that, considering his proximity to said airbase, he's never walked out to the B-52s.
140.
Be a solid choice. But one of the things about living next to an RAF base,
57.
or indeed a naval base, if you've ever seen a Chinook helicopter in the air, they're quite incredible to watch. But what is even more impressive about a Chinook helicopter is just how much sound they give off before they take flight. You can hear them from miles away.
40.
Well, I remember the last time Lee played here, he showed me some videos on his phone of some of the aircraft or the warcraft that were coming up and down. Like the American
41.
planes and some of the stuff the RAF use. Yeah, there's some loud bits of kit, particularly the F-18s. You got the F-22s.
60.
The F-14 Tomcats.
You're having yourself a bit of a military town moment there, Henry, because you are from Portsmouth after all.
You got the
90.
fighter Typhoons.
Anything else? Want to get this off your chest?
F-Force.
60. Lee require 170.
Do us a favour, Lee. Hit this and keep them quiet. Let's talk about things you can hit. Things like this.
131.
You had the indicators on that one. That was going left.
Forget F4, that was Control-Alt-Delete, that dart.
121. Lee require 39.
However, this is for prize breaker throw in for 2-1 lead. Double 16. Tread 1-0. Can he get his nose in front?
Game.
Lovely
On
shot.
the third leg, Lee
He's
Evans.
playing some very tidy stuff tonight. Had 17 darts
Fourth
at a
leg
double
is
in his
Lee to
first
throw
game. That is
first.
more than enough to get 4 legs.
Game on.
Have you noticed, though? He has that little bit of a playing of the flute thing with his fingertips. I think that was something that Kylian Mbappe did in one of his games.
100.
Well, I'll tell you what, the players tonight want to score like Kylian Mbappe has at the World Cup. 20 goals
30.
in 20 World Cup games now from Mbappe.
$100.
Pass into the semi-finals of the World Cup following a 2-0 win over Morocco tonight. And the semi-finals is as good as it's got for Lee Evans on a
140.
Saturday here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
So far. He'll be hoping to change that in the next 48 hours because in around about
85.
48 hours, we will crown our Week 11 champion.
At the slightly longer time, slightly earlier time of 5:30 in the evening, owing to a very small football match
60.
between England and Norway. So 5:30 on the Pluto TV network if you want to have a little bit of pre-football fun.
100.
And the key for Lee Evans is to hold, and it will give him a 2-leg lead in this game. And it'll give him a cushion at the right time. And once upon a time, he was playing slow. Now he's playing
171.
fast.
Lee
But
require 116.
he's just hoping to move in one of the line. So he put the wheels in motion. Oh, no
Game. Shot on the
mistake
fourth
whatsoever.
leg, Lee Evans.
3-1 Lee Evans
Fifth leg
leads.
is
He's just
Scott to
beginning
throw
to stretch
first.
away from Scott Taylor.
Game on.
Just a very, very good dart player.
30.
There are times when an average really does signify how well someone's playing. He is dictating this match, averaging 96.
90.
I'm not going to say this is a mismatch.
100.
I'm going to say that you have a very steady operator against a very flashy one. Scott has had one darter double, one 180,
100.
and very few moments of steadiness, whereas Evans has just
95.
continued to average mid-90s and get the job done. He's that kind of player.
Well, it has been a darting version of the tortoise and the hare, and the respect of the hare didn't even get going at the starter's gate. The tortoise has been able to plod along rather precociously,
100.
but the hare is just beginning to get back into this race. However, it might be a bit too late.
That third dart from Lee Evans has got
99.
absolutely no right to go in. No right whatsoever. That one has.
99. Scott, you require
Because it went to the right of
97.
target, and the other one I still can't figure it out. Match point Evans. He only needs one more treble,
73.
one more double, and a single in
Lee, you
between.
require 112.
When he found a similar tight combo in the previous leg, the 116. Can he find the 112? But the problem is the route to a double is rather difficult.
2 routes left. He can go for 60, but he can go 42 bull here. 54.38. And he's going to go for the 60. I don't get it.
41.
Why do they keep doing it? Why do they keep going
Scott,
for
you
blocked
require
targets?
24.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Well,
Game.
Scott
Shot on the
Taylor
fifth
might feel like a
leg,
cat
Scott
with 9
Taylor.
lives there. The double 12 goes back to 3-2. But Evans
Sixth
here with
leg
the
is Lee to throw
opportunity
first.
on
Game
serve
on.
to get this game won.
I'm going to put this into some sort of perspective, right? Because darts is a non-contact sport where you've got to make really good choices, and that is very much the right thing to do right there. So imagine if you're 240 yards from the pin
57.
on a par 5, it's your second shot, and you've got a really big oak tree in front of you. You know how they say there's about 75% air in all trees, which
60.
doesn't seem that way. That's like Lee Evans saying, pass me the 3-wood. Because I'm just going to hit it through the tree. Yeah, because that's a great plan. What you should do is pitch out and then get a nice
43.
open look at the green. Do the right thing. But unfortunately, a lot of dart players of a certain age or experience still don't utilise plan B.
45.
Well, Scott Taylor's blood is getting to a point where it's beyond boiling.
Yeah, it's more like lava. $
100.
That is really good.
125.
One bad dart from 3, but you don't mind when you get 125. And you give yourself a 210-point lead.
85. Lee
As much as
require
everything seemed to
91.
go for Taylor in his first game against Richie Burnett, he's up against a tidier operator here.
Just goes to show that sometimes consistency can just beat that bit of maverick flair.
59.
Plots his way towards double 60 to wrap this game up 4-2. In fact, I've kind of undersold it a little bit with Lee Evans. That was around 95 and change. 3 from 5 with the chance. This is a really good performance.
60.
And look, you
Lee
called it.
require 32.
You expected him to do some real damage. You didn't have any issues in terms of
shot.
his
And a
progress.
match.
And
Lee
so
Evans.
far, it's been perfect progress for Lee Evans. 2 games played, 2 wins. And for Scott Taylor, he's going to have to calm himself down a little bit. He was getting rather flustered, rather frustrated. As for Lee Evans, that was a really good performance. Average of 94 and change. 4th and 6th on the doubles, including that 116 checkout. He moves to the top of the table, having won each of his opening 2. We're at the halfway point of tonight's action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. This is what we've seen in Group B. It kicked off with a 4-1 win for Ron Meulenkamp over Carl Wilson. Scott Taylor then got his first win of the night, coming back from 3-0 down to beat Richie Burnett 4-3. Lee Evans beat Ron Meulenkamp 4-2. Carl Wilson beat Richie Burnett 4-1. And Lee Evans doubled up his tally before the break with a 4-2 victory over Scott Taylor. And as a consequence of that, here is how the table looks. Richie Burnett, the only player yet to pick up a point. 2 games, 2 defeats. Lee Evans, the only player to have picked up maximum points on the night's action so far. He's 2 from 2. We'll see him in a few games' time. But next up for us, we're going to see Richie Burnett, who now is in desperate need, you feel, of getting points on the board. He takes on Ron Meulenkamp, who started the night so well, but it's also fair to say that there was a little bit of a regression in terms of performance in Game 2. He hit the 4-180s, but the stuff around the sides just left a little bit to be desired. Missed 5 darts and a double in his defeat to Lee Evans, who was afforded 13 misses at the outer ring before getting over the line.
I think this game's about the level that Richie brings, because if he continues to meander at around the 78 mark,
First leg,
Ron
it's Ron
Meulenkamp is going to beat that.
Game on.
Because even when Ron was losing by 4 legs to 2 against Evans, he still averaged 89. We know what kind of level he's got. He's consistent. He's got lots of energy. He hasn't had a group earlier in the week. I would be very surprised if Ron averages less than 86 here.
99.
And before you ask, yes, I'm that low that I'm going to jot that down on my notepad.
59.
We spent that much time together, we turned feral. Bit like Danny
70.
Murphy's cat.
What was it called? Bob?
Bob, yeah, it was called Bob. It got lost in the Royal Mail van.
100.
Went to Preston, got feral, started attacking his sister Mary.
Oh, I'm really surprised that Danny Murphy's cat wasn't called Chanel.
44.
Like that very famous grey parrot that went missing in Liverpool.
Now, Chanel was cat number 5.
It's really sad when you laugh at your own jokes,
81.
Henry. Well, this is no joke for Burnett, is it? Because if he loses 3 from 3, the maximum amount of points he can yield from this group is 10.
60.
We've seen people get 3rd position with 10 points in this series. Although, very recently, we have had a very competitive Group B in week number 10. Last week, 8 points was enough for Jamie Lewis to get 3rd spot. Jim McEwen was 2nd with 8. Jemai van den Herik won with 12. But Chaz Barstow, after a pretty dodgy start in the group, he was averaging 90
48.
for his
Richie
8
required
games in Group B.
121.
Had 6 points and it wasn't enough. So by virtue of that, you're going to have to win half your games in the group. Not really against Richie going for the 25 there. It's a bit of an old school play.
89.
Well, it's got him towards where he would have wanted to be, on a double. Maybe not the double he would have intended, but an opportunity nonetheless to get a break right at the beginning of this
41.
game.
Richie required 32.
Now it's Meulenkamp's turn to really regress. Really poor first leg on throw for the Dutchman.
That's a really good shot from Richie.
Leg, Richie Burnett.
Looks like he's got a new dart shirt as well. I haven't seen that design on the back before with the
Second leg is Richie to throw
Prince
first.
of Wales stance on it.
Game on.
That used to be one of the things that you'd want to see him do. Back in 2001, I'd never met Richie Burnett before, but I saw him win the BDO Gold Cup against Andy Jenkins in the final.
44.
And when he won that final, he did the whole arms to the left and right, and he did the bit of a stance, and you thought, yeah, that's still pretty cool.
Well, so why don't you say that? Because it was on this day in 2001 where The Office first premiered on British television. And some of those moves are rather akin to that of David Brent, the main character in that particular sitcom.
$100.
How did you get it from Trentham Gardens and Stoke for the BDO Gold Cup to the Office? There's no way there's a bridge in those two segways.
59.
But you've just managed to do it. Well done, Henry. I actually don't think The Office is that funny.
100.
I think it's a bit cringeworthy. Ricky Gervais is a genius, but not my thing. But I know it's a lot of other people's things, so fair play to you all.
96.
I'm more of a Blackadder kind of guy, isn't that right, Richie? That's where me and him are like two peas in a pod. Baldrick, Blackadder, George, General Melchett. That's our kind of humour.
140.
Well, Richie Burnett has found a bit of an upturning level. I know only days in this contest,
Richie
but 10 points up
117.
in comparison to what he was putting into the previous game.
I'm really starting to regret saying that Ron was going to average a minimum
57.
of 86. I'm not going to lie, this from Ron so far is poor. Something's got to change, and fast.
140. Richie requires 60.
At the moment, it's Richie Burnett who's averaging close to 86. Double top for a 2-0 lead.
Game shot on the
Double
second
top
leg.
is found, and
Richie
maybe Burnett is just beginning to find his
Third leg is Ron to
mojo.
throw
Although
first.
he has
Game
been
on.
here before, as I say, let a 3-leg lead squander against Scott Taylor in the opening match of his night.
60.
Do you know how many titles
85.
Richie Burnett's got in the PDC?
The solitary one?
Yeah, not many at all. It's quite astounding, really, that if you put Mark
60.
Webster and Richie Burnett together, they've got a grand total of 2. And they were a dynamite World Cup team together for Wales. But then again, everybody who played with Mark, that was a great team.
100.
He was so good at World Cup. For me, without a shadow of a doubt, Mark Webster is the best World Cup player in PDC history not to have won it.
Yeah, played in 2
45.
finals, lost in 2 finals. And Richie Burnett's had his fair share of pain on this stage representing Wales. Him and Kurt Parry have lost
100.
twice in the final of the International Pairs Tournament.
There you have it. We don't have many pairs tournaments in World Darts anymore. But at various levels, Wales are the bridesmaids. More than once.
However, Richie Burnett has won for his country. That was at the Europe Cup all
58.
the way back in 1988.
Interestingly, just reliving some of the results from Richie's sole PDC victory. He beat Mark
140.
Webster in the semi-finals in Newland in September of 2011. Mark will get his own back the following year. Or it was the previous year, I do beg your pardon.
100.
Because
Richie requires
Mark beat Richie in the
76.
final of a Players' Championship in Bad Nauheim in Germany, just off Elvis Presley Way. This is going rather well for Wales. It's 3-0, and Ron Meulenkamp is having a very bad game in more ways than one.
Fourth leg is Richie.
Hasn't had a dart at a double, and hasn't had a look in at all. Burnett 3-0 to the good.
Game on.
And now has the darts to get over the line by a 4-0 score. And actually, the position that he's in, the predicament he's in, if he can win it 4-zip, he actually brings his leg difference back down to 0.
51.
Back to an equal kilter. Well, this is the reaction from Ron following the loss of that previous leg.
Sometimes you feel powerless. Your opponent is just playing better than you, and you feel
100.
like you're not able to muster the strength and the accuracy in this situation. You're still going to try your hardest, but it's like you're punching the wind.
60.
However, the bad news is, Nico, we might have to show the averages at the end of this game.
100.
It's not the first time I've been wrong. It won't be the last.
Take it from somebody who's used to it. We all say silly things on air every now and
100.
then.
It wasn't even that silly.
It wasn't, no.
There was merit. But this performance from Ron, I don't know where this has come from. He hasn't had a dart at a double.
Well, it's fair to say that Ron has had a bit of a bomb in
85.
this game, hasn't he? But Richie Burnett has been in this position and lost this lead before tonight. However, he shouldn't really let it slip from this position.
41.
And if he does, he's got butter for fingers.
Yeah, he's going to get a match dart. Or 2. Or 3, if he needs them. It's been good.
37.
It hasn't needed to be brilliant.
Richie, you require 40.
But the one overriding explanation on the stage is that Richie has just been better than Ron.
Game shot.
And Burnett is back
Richie
on
Burnett.
track. First win of the night, and it's a comprehensive one. It's the first 4-0 scoreline that we've seen this evening. And so Burnett will feel like he's back in proceedings, and after a promising start for Ron Meulenkamp, it has regressed dramatically. Didn't he get a dart at a double, averaging sub 70 for Burnett? That is dictionary definition of Super Series solid. Welcome back to the Modus Super Season. For the break, we saw a commanding win for Richie Burnett, getting the better of Ron Moulenkamp by 4 legs to 0. Moulenkamp didn't get a dart and a double in that game. So Burnett off the mark, and because of the margin of it, she's actually moved up to 2nd place in the league standings, although that will be temporary because the winner of this meeting between Carl Wilson and Scott Taylor will move on to 4 points, only separated by the one leg difference so far this evening, which is rather weird because Scott Taylor's actually won more legs than Carl Wilson, but yet his legs difference is -1 compared to the 0 of Carl, despite being on the same points. Go figure.
100.
You want to talk weird, do you?
Yes, I would actually.
Okay, in that case, Scott Taylor 3, Carl Wilson 0. Must be something about Carl. Maybe it's personal.
$140.
There's going to be a ding dong at some point on it. Maybe this one.
When
you say that, this is the perfect pace for Scott Taylor to be coming up against. Look, the approach may not always be the quickest from Carl, but once he gets to the board and he throws the darts, he throws them quickly. I think this is the perfect pace for someone like Scott to eke out their best performance against.
174.
Could be a potential 10 darter to kick things off.
Having said that, well, he's 1/3 into the 170.
Score you require 24.
He does get his chance to break in 4 visits.
Game
that is a
shot on the
10 dart
first
leg.
Scott Taylor.
Scott Taylor is still an incredible dart player. And every now and again he proves it.
First. Game on.
Yeah, only is. He hit a 10 dart, but there was a point where he may have thought he weren't even going to get a look at it. But the near perfect start for ST.
134.
All right, let's try and figure this out. We know the ability that Scott's got. What has stopped
57.
him from becoming the best version of himself as a dart player?
His own drive. Because I'm telling you now,
123.
he has got the ability to be a top 32 player in the world.
All right, in that case, let's try and build around this, shall we? You've got Scott Taylor's ability.
97.
You've got Michael Smith's work ethic.
140.
What else does he need?
If Scott Taylor's right hand and Connor Scott's brain met in the middle, you've got a world champion.
97. Scott, you require 104.
I know what you're trying to say. I think you're underestimating just how good Scott Taylor is at thinking this game through.
Shot in the
I mean,
second
look at
leg.
that, for
Scott
example.
Taylor. Third leg is
10
Cole
followed by
to throw
11.
first.
Scott Taylor's averaging 142.8.
He is ridiculous. And I mean that in both senses.
58.
That's what's known as a 2-dot Australian kill. Because that's what they do in Australia and New Zealand as common practice.
59.
Because they do not play the bust rule. And everybody goes for the bull on 50. I don't know who he's been hanging out
58.
with, but that is astonishing.
Well, I do know that he's been spending some time alongside his Lancastrian pals. I know there's a number of dart clubs that have been opening up
39.
nearby. Well, his average is going to take an absolute nosedive. It was 135 before this leg began. For one of those 2 visits, it's gone down to a rather measly sum of around about 122.
58.
When are you going to learn, Henry? If you mention the average after leg 2, the record will never be broken.
Yes, but at the same time, it's my job to inform the viewers what is happening in a darts
84.
match.
Yeah, at the end.
We're meant to be illustrating the story.
Yeah, just do it without the average.
108.
Right, here's where the rules should be. If someone's beating Daryl Pilgrim's record after 3 legs, okay, that's where we do it.
Well, he might be at this rate.
180. Can't require 147.
He was involved with Daryl Pilgrim, wasn't he? In a ridiculous game.
Well, he beat Daryl Pilgrim despite the fact Mr. P
90.
averaged 118.88 and hit a 9-darter in that contest. Well, the 139 isn't going to go, but you've got to give credit here to Carl Wilson.
99.
He's been hit with a 10 followed by an 11, but is still trying to counter-punch. First opportunity at a double. Sees the pot.
Shot on the third leg, Carl Wilson. Fourth leg is Scott to throw
Let me ask you a
first.
question. It's not about those averages.
Game
How on earth is that a marker for tops? It isn't. But he's figured something out where he can find it even with the dart over the top.
135.
Doesn't make any sense. Look, he's gone above the 60 and he switches.
58.
Because he knows he can't hit the 60. Look at this. He didn't move. That is a very difficult shot to pull off.
96.
And obviously, it's commonplace for Carl to do that. But trust me, that is not the norm.
But maybe it's turn
123.
and time for Wilson Riposte. Because you're Carl Wilson, you've got to think at some point this fella just
62.
cannot keep ascertaining the level that he has done. At some point, he's going to have to regress to some kind of mean. And you've got to be there on the scene to be able to pounce upon
100.
that.
58.
Okie dokie, he's left 150. What's he going to do now?
In this kind of mood, there's potentially nothing off the cards, but he doesn't strike me as a
100.
free bullseye kind of guy.
150.
Tends to go for the 2 treble 19s to leave himself double 18. Or, alternatively, he can start up on the 20s. Change of attack from earlier on this
41.
evening.
Carl, you require
But despite averaging
120.
in the 110s, Scott Taylor could find himself pegged back here.
$42. Scott, you require 109.
It's a shame he can't get a 59 in bull. This is going to have to be regulation. Hits this, his average will stay at 109.
Yay.
It's
Shot on
wonderful.
the fourth leg.
It's really,
Scott
really
Taylor.
good.
Fifth leg is Carl, so throw first.
This
Game
is
on.
extremely similar to what he was doing when he won his first weekly final.
54.
This reminds me of a game that he played against David Evans in the weekly campaign that he won en route to winning his Champions Week. Where he was involved in a game which was a humdinger just like this.
121.
But we know he's got these levels over a 10-15 minute burst.
There's only one player getting these high averages this week.
131.
His name is Scott Taylor. This is one of the reasons why he's won so many times on a Saturday, because he's able to find this big
96.
performance in the second group game on a Saturday, in the semi-final, and sometimes in the final.
77.
He's got qualities that other players do not have. Now, we've seen Wilson in various group situations not necessarily dominate, but easily get through to Saturday, and he just hasn't been able to get over the line to get the medal
59.
and the trophy lift on the Saturday night. If he had a little bit more of what Scott's got, he'd have more than one medal. He'd have at least 2.
123.
He continues to pose the questions, but you expect Taylor to hit big here. Hits perfect. And look at the
180.
snarl on
Carl
his
upon
face as he
116.
piled in his third 180 of the game. And he's going to get a look at this 45 to bring what has been a beyond magnificent display to a close.
26.
Kicked off with back-to-back legs of 10 and 11. He's 3 out of 3 in terms of the doubling. His average 110 on the nose. Scott Taylor is a special player that is capable of doing special things.
And
that, another one of his special performances here at the Live Lounge. 4 out of 4 on the doubles. He kicked off with 10 followed by an 11. And you know what? He just laughs it off as if it's another day at the office, despite averaging just a shade under 109. Some performance from Super Scott coming up after the break. Richie Burnett and Lee Evans have got to try and follow that.
Decent from Everett so far. Very decent.
Game shot in the second leg.
Look how good that is.
Because I know full well that kind of inner elbow. And he takes out the 1-2-7. So inviting, but he might not even get to come back. Double 12 for a 1-4-1 for Stein de Klerk.
Game shot in the second leg. Stein de Klerk.
That's another one of those required. Double 12 for Kevin Burness. What a shot
What a find. Yes, Paul thinks it is in. It is game shot.
Bull. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Scott Robertson.
2-1 lead. Time on his side.
Game
Good decision, Terence.
2/16s. Oh, that is effortlessly good from Andy Hamilton. Your Week 5 champion, the Hammer, Andy Hamilton!
Oh, Jared Cole, he's done it again.
The king of the castle, Jared Cole! So this is the final week's worth of action, and really there's only one name that stands out, and that is the return of Tedward Everts after a year away here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Looking forward to seeing Super Ted again, and hopefully he comes aided and abetted with some rather nice desserts as well, because we know that he's a very, very capable chef. And also looking to cook up a storm, Andy Hamilton looking for yet another weekly title. Alongside Stein de Klerk, the Belgian, he'll be looking to make some progress in Group B. Scott Robertson has to go off favourite for me in that. He's played some really, really good stuff recently. Winner on the WDF circuit, and he is manoeuvring in the right direction. Looks set to be making a debut at Lakeside later this year. However, Chris Wickington's a rather dangerous operator in Group C. We'll see him in action. We'll see them all in action on Monday morning from 9:30. So we've got 3 more games to go here on this Thursday evening, going into the early hours of Friday. And we're going to see Richie Burnett and Lee Evans go head-to-head here. First week in 3, actually, next week. We're not going to see a Lee Evans in some kind of capacity. But for Richie Burnett, it's the last time we're going to see him in any capacity tonight. Has played 3 games, got his first win on the board in his previous match, a 4-0 win over Ron Moulenkamp. If he can end the night 2 wins and 2 defeats, that will be rather productive for the Prince of Wales when you consider the way it began.
If Lee Evans is playing the way he did earlier tonight, he's going to take some stopping.
First leg is Richie to throw first.
He's still got 2 games to go.
Game on.
He's won 8 legs. He hasn't lost many. He's only lost 3. We thought that Lee was going to be the most successful operator in this group because of his early activity. Well, Scott Taylor has said something about that. He has obliterated the best average of the week by 7 points just now.
140.
So you think that Scott Robertson's the favourite for that group next week? The whole group of players or just the group he's in?
In terms of what you've got there, he's playing better than the other 2.
So the group, as in the group he's in, not the cluster of players?
Agreed, yes. I saw Jared play at the 6 Nations, and it was very erratic. It was very in and out.
In and out is not a good thing in darts.
It's not. However, I will say that in that format, you play 1 leg on, 1 leg off. So consistency is something that's rather difficult to find. However, I have been told on good authority from contacts that I have out in Africa to look out for Mitch Minnie. He's a good operator, and he could surprise 1 or 2 next week.
Well, my pick is Sean Fox. I think Sean Fox is a proper player. Seen him close up at the UK Open. I've heard many a thing from 58. Him in the east of England as well. Won a qualifier to get here, beating James Hubbard. I've seen nothing but impressive stuff from Sean, and I think he's very good.
And I'm sure Eddie Hamilton, if he's watching this, is thinking, why ain't you talking about me? Because I've won a few of these now.
Don't worry, Andy. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about you when you're here.
42.
You know what Andy's like.
32.
He's always sharp. He's never loose.
Game shot on the first leg.
Oh, good Evans. It's a break of throw.
Second leg, Lee to throw first. Game on.
It's not just the Lee Evans that we've had in this series. David Evans has won a week. If Ricky's not careful, he's going to be here in about 2 years.
29.
Yeah, if him and Danny Lauby are in a group, I'm going to be making lunch reservations. Group A could be done by the time breakfast is off the menu
100.
at some restaurants. Put a bit of Moreno Brom in there, he really would be done in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, 3 very quick players. Now, what I want you to focus on the next time Lee's at the hockey, bearing in mind what Devin Peterson was like yesterday afternoon.
59.
The amount that the body was thrown at the board with every dart. Look at Lee's body here. Look at how much is not thrown at the board. It's the arm coming back and the arm going through.
100.
And the torso doesn't move. If you watch Devin play a little bit later on today, the reaction of the body is because of the position of the arm and the position of the dart. It reacts because it wants to go upwards and forwards. Ideally, what you want
93.
is what Lee does. You want a solid arm position with no stress, so you can use the fulcrum of the elbow to propel it in the right way. The body doesn't move.
105.
And that's what all elite players have. They have a nice catapult action with the throwing arm, and
40.
in the case of
Yeah, you
Evans, you've got a
require
really great example. In the case
167.
of Burnett, you've got the exact opposite.
Well, Trevor 19 would have left the ball and able to get 86 left. And I'll be back for 32 when he returns.
135.
I am so confident that Lee is going to make Saturday that if he finishes outside the top 3 in this group, I will happily wear a Sunderland shirt. It's not going to happen. I'm that confident because he is in good
60.
nick. He's very, very
You require
able
32.
right now, and he is making mincemeat of his opponent.
All I'm saying is it's a very bold call after your previous prediction.
I'm more confident about this one.
No score.
He is going to make Saturday.
Richie, you require 149.
Truth be told, Burnett's not looked likely from this kind of range this evening. He has not looked likely at all. And again, the 149 is not going to go.
Not for the lack of trying. He gave that every single shred
32.
of concentration. That's a wide. And that's a hit.
Shot on the second leg.
He's had 2 really poor darts there, but he's had really, really good third one. Makes all the difference. It's 2-0.
Third leg is Richie to throw first.
Has control and has a real
Game
grasp of this game, even if things have been a little bit in and out for Lee. That's not really
60.
a name which has been passed down the generations, is it, Lee? At least not amongst males anyway. I never really went to school with a classmate called Lee.
What was the most popular name in your class? Tarquin?
60.
Rupert?
James was very popular.
Oh, how very Shakespearean of you.
James was popular.
57.
I'm trying to go through names of people that were in my class at school. Harry was very popular. We had about 3 Harrys in our English class.
100.
Something to do with royalty in your school. Henry. Harry.
We had a few Jamies.
That's just a fancy James.
60.
Yeah, we didn't really have many other names. We didn't get many Matts or Ethans and the like.
60.
Didn't get many maxes. Could have a max here.
123.
He gets an ABC shot instead. You were probably a little bit before the time of the Jordans, where there was a Jordan everywhere, whereas nowadays there's a Harry everywhere.
100.
I think that's something to do with Mr. Potter, you know.
Apparently there was a
41.
growth in the name of Bradley because of the film actor Bradley Cooper.
That I can get behind. And why do you think that's the case? Because all the mums fancied Bradley Cooper.
We went there.
96.
160 for Burnett to half the arrears.
Well, hydration break time as we reach
Richie, you
the end of the first quarter.
160.
Well, that really would have been fireworks, but the 160 isn't going to go. Evans may just get the dart at the bullseye, but an opportunity
44.
nonetheless to get the double break and go
Lee
3-0 up.
require
And Burnett really
85.
is going through the middle of emotions now.
Is he going to feel any worse after this shot? Not really.
46.
He gets a chance.
Richie require 116.
Only the one treble needed. However, the shot's off now, much to his rather visible frustration.
$40. Lee require 39.
Evans has already taken care of business in the bottom left corner in this match. Is he about to do the same?
Game shot on the third
Yes,
leg.
is the
Lee
emphatic
Evans.
answer. Double break found, 3-0 to the good.
Fourth leg is Lee to throw first.
As Richie Burnett tries to draw some
Game on.
final inspiration from the speaker. A lot of the factors have become so normalised now that he rubs a Bluetooth speaker up and down like a genie in a lamp.
57.
That we don't even mention it.
Just part and parcel of this place, isn't it? Have you had a look at who has beaten
85.
Richie Burnett in ranking finals in PDC darts over the last 30 years?
Please enlighten me.
We've already mentioned the fact that he did win a Players' Championship in 2011.
58.
He beat Dave Chisnell 6-4. So Chisnell is a modern-day great. Yes, he hasn't won a major title, but he's won in the mid-20s of European tours and Players' Championships. He's a modern-day great.
60.
He lost to Mark Webster and Simon Whitlock in consecutive days in 2010. So he could have won back-to-back. That was in October of 2010. He also lost in a final to Gary
140.
Anderson in 2014. So we're talking about Whitlock, Webster, Anderson, Chisnell, he beat in a final. But the other one that everybody seems to forget
85.
is that he lost in the final of the World Match Play in 2001 to Philip Douglas Taylor.
That actually could have been a final between Richie Burnett and Martin Adams. Plausibly, because Martin got to the semi-finals, didn't he, of that tournament? That was at the time when the
100.
Tomlin order was a thing. Now, to give you a darting education late at night, basically between 1997 and 2002, players could play openly whatever events they wanted to, with the exception of the World Championship. So Martin decided to play a little bit in the PDT, played in that the World Grand Prix.
22. Lee require 146.
You couldn't ask for two more different players on the hockey than these two. One's all business, one's all emotion.
58.
Better dart. He's probably going to need every single bit of this. Now he's better off going downstairs here.
99. Lee require 88.
May just be a dart at the ball, but an opportunity to get this game wrapped up to 0 and to bring to an end what has been a largely frustrating night for Richie Burnett.
74.
That's a good point.
Richie require 150.
The fact that Burnett is playing his last game, he's going to be very frustrated if he walks away with only 2 points.
60.
And one of the main reasons it's only 2 points is because
Lee require
he
14.
got Ron Muhlenkamp when he had his worst game.
Splits to leave double 4. This is a win number 3 out of 3. And that
10.
would have put him to within a win of completing the card.
Richie
But expect
require
more
90.
opportunities. Is he going to get another one in this leg, though?
Double 15. It's almost like he wasn't expecting to hit the treble. Now he has to find the double.
60.
And that was a bit swift. It's almost like he couldn't wait to get it out of his hand.
2 2s for 4-0. Well, he's been in Madders a few times, hasn't he, tonight?
Game shot.
He's found it
And a
again there
match.
to
Lee
wrap up
Evans.
a whitewash win over the Prince of Wales, Richie Burnett, who for large spells tonight has had a frustrating evening. But for Lee Evans, 3 games, 3 wins. It's all good for the Swindonian. A 4-0 win. Not his best performance, but it didn't have to be. Coming up next, Scott Taylor looking to follow up that 108.75 average of his previous match against Ron Muhlenkamp, who averaged 40 points fewer in his previous game. Well, Saturday night kicks off at the earlier time of 5:30 to accommodate for the 10 o'clock kickoff for the England v Norway World Cup quarter-final. But it's all about spaces through to Champions Week come the end of this month. That is the all-encompassing thing for all the players involved. 5:30 Saturday night, live here on Pluto TV. Well, we're heading towards the tail end of Thursday's action as we head into the early hours of Friday morning. Scott Taylor is looking to follow up what was a really good display in his previous game. Average of 108.75, was 4 from 4 in terms of his doubles. Hit 2 ton-plus checkouts en route to a 4-1 dismantling of Carl Wilson. As for Ron Meulenkamp, it was the absolute opposite end of the equation for him. He lost 4-0 against Richie Burnett, didn't get a dart at a double, and averaged sub-70 in that particular game.
First leg is Scott to throw first.
Interesting tussle, this one, Nico. And simply put, if both players played like they did in the previous game, there's only ever going to be one result.
120.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Really flummoxed as to why things went so poorly for Ron in the previous match. This looks like a different set of barrels to me. Good change.
180.
We know Ron, you mentioned he's one of the smartest players out there, and if something goes wrong, he's not afraid to try and change things to force a different outcome.
Seems to me like this change
140.
has come off the back of a bad performance, but these darts that he's using here might indeed have been put in the case just in case that kind of game came
100.
through. He's been using the John Lowe style barrel for the rest of the year, but he might have been waiting for these darts to be put into plan. He might think that this is the right time to put them into bat.
Well, last time he was here, we saw Ron Meulenkamp take out a 136. He's left it after 9 and may be forced to take it out to find a break right from the get-go.
137.
Because once again, Scott Taylor is coming out the traps like a steam train.
It doesn't get much better than that. You can't find the number. That was a really good try from Ron.
Scott, you require 44.
As far as this first leg is concerned, it might be see you later, Ron.
Really did give that every chance, but it might be the only chance he gets. Because you didn't expect Scott Taylor to miss with 2 in hand.
Second leg is
first blood.
First.
Leads 1-0.
Did we mention earlier that Scott Taylor's a bit of a Group B specialist? By this time tomorrow, we will have at hand the information of how many Group Bs he's actually won over the last 4 years. We're getting very close to the anniversary of coming to Portsmouth here at the Live Lounge on London Road. It will be September the 3rd, 2026. It'll be 4 years since we first came here.
Where have those 4 years gone, first and foremost? Remembering everything was... Oh, that is just about in. Just about crept in. And he was very quick, and rightly so, to retrieve them on Meulenkamp.
Ooh, Scott Taylor.
56.
I like what you've just done. I like that even more.
Yes.
Notice how he had 442 when he went for the 18s to try and leave 350. Don't underestimate just how smart Scott is.
91.
Well, Ron Meulenkamp is ascertaining the standard.
135.
And that was a rather nonchalant throw from Taylor there. He's kind of waved the right flag in this leg, expecting Meulenkamp to mop up. Another 25, leads double top. And that's a 12 darter to respond. And what a contest this is brewing up to being.
Third leg is Scott to throw first.
Early days, I get it. But that is otherworldly for Mühlenkamp.
Yeah, give it another couple of legs and see where it stands. It'll probably even out a bit more.
100.
Because they started 30 apart there. I'll be surprised if they're 15 apart after the next 2 legs.
But at the end of leg 2, Von Mühlenkamp's average is nearly 60 points higher than that he posted in his previous game.
I honestly don't know what happened in that previous game. Maybe he just couldn't feel the darts the way he did in his first game.
43.
But something obviously was not to his liking, which meant that he changed to these barrels here.
Well, it was back-to-back defeats, but even in his first game, averaged around 89 and changed it forward. It was just the fact he missed 5 darts to the double. And Lee Evans outmanoeuvred him in that particular department for the most part of the game, which is the reason why he got over the line 4-2. As I say, it felt almost like an anomalic performance from Ron in that previous game against Burnett.
$100.
If I'm right in saying, in that Week 12 Group B, which we speak about so often, with the likes of Ted Evans involved, with the likes of David Evans involved, I'm sure Ron Mühlenkamp was involved in that as well, if memory serves me right.
You're not often wrong, Henry.
$55. Scotty require
He's one of those people who's actually had a
164.
chance to become a series champion without being a weekly winner. Closest person to doing that? Jacob Taylor.
117. Ronnie require
Came in
135.
as a substitute. Lost in the final to Littler.
Trouble 15 or trouble 19? And for the former. And again has a sneaky little glance at a wide dart. He knows of all the hard work he's put in, he could find himself 2-1 down at a couple of moments.
Scott is not missing many doubles in the last couple of hours. He didn't miss any in his previous game. So Mühlenkamp is already warming up for the next leg by the looks of it.
Game shot on the
Look at
third
that.
leg. Scott Taylor. Fourth leg is Ron to
That
throw
is
first.
photograph
Game
worthy,
on.
that double top. It is right in the heart.
And in fairness, the first couple of games wasn't all bells and whistles from Scott Taylor, was it? Had to come back from 3-0 behind to get the better of Richie Burnett 4-3. Lost 4-2 to Lee Evans, averaging about 82 and change. But whatever's happened in the second half of the night, he has become an unleashed beast.
137.
Have you seen his doubles statistics for the night? 12
41.
hits from 15 darts. Now, we don't have much in the way of records for doubles percentage on a Thursday night. We might have to create one because this is ridiculous.
55.
Again, it reminds me of that ridiculous spell of Adam Paxton. We mentioned it early on in Group C, where he was about 50% in change for the entirety of a group. Now, we have seen Connor Scott, for example, have a day
100.
where he went absolutely ballistic in terms of his doubling.
All right, there's ballistic, then there's borderline ridiculous. This is game 4 for Taylor for tonight. 80% is extraterrestrial.
127.
I remember Christian Kist having a night. He was with Colin Osborne. They played some great darts. And for the night, Christian was at 67%. I've always remembered that because that is sickeningly good. This is better than that.
Oh, I don't know. Scott Taylor's too happy with this little stoppage in play. Mühlenkamp
90.
diverting his eyes downstairs and then picking off a treble to end the turn.
$94.
Actually, that's worked out pretty well. That last dart was supposed to be a buller 25. Could have been a lot worse. Okay. He's got to work the angles now. It's got to be over the top and pure. If he flicks the wing, this is not going to go in. That's what happens when you do flick the wing. It's even worse when you flick two wings at the same time, which I think is what happened there.
27.
And this could be the moment where Scott Taylor can really take charge of this contest. Ron Meulenkamp is averaging about 103 and change, but he could find himself 3-1 down if Scott Taylor finds the bullseye.
63.
Not too far away.
It's a rare miss at any double. We'll see where the averages are at the end of this leg. But things are a lot tighter now.
63.
A lot tighter.
Scott,
everything's starting to even out.
25.
And that little burst at the beginning from the bomb is just beginning to peter out this for a two-leg gap. And importantly, he'd have the darts in the neck to get this wrapped up.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
And when he's on
Scott
song,
Taylor.
that double 12 doesn't often get missed. Doesn't on that occasion. 3-1 to the good now, Scott
Fifth leg,
Taylor.
it's Scott to throw first.
3 from 5 on the outer wing in this game.
Game on.
What we might be looking at in this group are two players who are extending a bit of a cushion after night one. Lee Evans will start as favourite against Carl Wilson. If he gets 4 out of 4, very close to job done in the group. But Scott Taylor is looking right down the barrel of 3 from 4.
60.
And if he wins, and Evans wins, there are 3 people on 2 points in the bottom 3.
100.
And I have it by my authority. It's now 13 hits from 18 attempts to Scott Taylor tonight on the doubles.
It's not bad.
We've seen a lot worse.
55.
In fact, most players have missed more darts at a double in games than Taylor's had for the evening.
Let's say this while we still can, because it might not come true. When was the last
100.
time you saw someone win more games than they lose in an evening session and have less than 20 darts at double for the night? It's ridiculous.
100.
Pass. Ask me one on maths.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened before.
50.
Oh, that's painful. You don't feel like you've thrown those darts too badly, but both have veered to the left. And you just sense that things are bubbling up for Ron here.
85.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 darts from here for Taylor to get this one. And needless to say, if he does win by 4 legs to 1, he's going to be very happy with his night's work.
The first portion of the night was rather laboured.
59.
The second part has been, at times, him at his absolute maverick best. The 108.75 against Carl Wilson, the best we've seen this week. Kicked off a 10, followed by an 11.
177.
He's threatened spells in this game.
Scott, you require 135.
But can he finish off with what would be his 5th ton plus checkout of the evening?
Well, this would be something off the back of Meulenkamp finding a 177 to double 12. Doesn't get a dart at a double right there.
90. Ronnie require 24.
And so Meulenkamp here looking at 2 12s to reduce the gap. Double 6. One last opportunity to save it. But that opportunity
21.
has come to pass, and that should be curtains.
Scott, you require 45.
He should be choosing tops.
$35.
He didn't get that double 10 right.
Ronnie require 3.
So it's 20 darts at double for the night. Hasn't quite got the amount of legs he wants yet, but he might be about to get them. This is tricky for Ron. That marker is an absolute dream.
Game shot on the 5th
Dream
leg.
marker,
Ron
dream
Meulenkamp.
result, back to 3-2.
Six-legged Ron to throw
A
first.
check out of 3 always reminds me of our good friend and colleague Charlie Corsafine, who, whenever he spots here, whenever 3 was left, he says, can't go no further. Hope you're well, Charles, if you're watching tonight, pal.
$44.
Yeah, it's not the kind of position you want to find yourself in. Single one for double is rather horrible.
58.
Try and avoid double 3 as much as you can as Scott Taylor goes for a walk.
Yeah, it was like Shawaddy Waddy, wasn't it?
82.
Just a little walk.
What do you know about Shawaddy Waddy?
Had a #1 single with Under the Moon of Love.
99.
I don't even want to know how you know that.
I used to play it on my
100.
iPod every Saturday
On my
for a
iPod.
number of years.
Oh, you said that like you were playing vinyl.
134.
It was a requirement of a previous job, Nico. Let's put it that way.
I was playing Shawaddy Waddy because it was my job.
I did at 5 to 3 on a Saturday. I had to play Shawaddy Waddy Under the Moon of Love.
100.
What a coinky dink. Scott is not careful right here. He could find himself
30.
a little bit embroiled the way that Richie Burnett was with him. Because if you remember, in game number 2, Taylor was 3-0 down, and he won by 4 legs to 3.
90.
A lot of people on social media have called it the best comeback of the series.
Yeah, careful about hyperbole now.
100.
Hyperbole.
Ronnie
Yes.
require 85.
That's such a Gen Z thing to say. Hyperbole. There's no hyperbole.
75.
Because he had double 5 instead.
And that could well be
Scott,
the
you
last dart that
require
Ron Moon and
80.
Camp throws tonight, because Scott Taylor returns for 80. Should get a match dart from here. However, it's not a guarantee now. Good recovery with dart 2. Double top,
Game
some
shot.
recovery.
And the match, Scott
And
Taylor.
some night for Scott Taylor. 3 wins out of 4. He had an average just underneath 109 in there. And he gives it some gusto. But I suppose the big surprise is how poorly it's gone for Ron Moonencamp. Won the opening game of the evening, but that's the only win he's got. Scott Taylor wins 4-2. He moves on to 6 points alongside Lee Evans, who could complete the card if he gets the better of Carl Wilson in a couple of moments' time. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Scott Taylor ended his night with a 4-2 win over Ron Meulenkamp. A good evening for Scott Taylor, but it could be the perfect evening for Lee Evans, because if he gets the better of Carl Wilson here in the final game of the evening, then he would have completed the card for Thursday. 4 wins out of 4, and he would be to within a couple of points of progression through to Saturday's final when we get to Friday's action here on Pluto TV. As far as Carl Wilson's night is concerned, just the 1 win from 3, and his previous match against Richie Burnett
45
was a decent one, but it was the game before against Scott Taylor where really he couldn't do much to suffice what was an average of around about 109 and change, and
60.
And a blemished record from Scott in terms of his doubling.
If anything, what Carl has done tonight has been incredibly steady.
125.
High 80s averages throughout. But I don't know what he's done to upset Scott Taylor this week. Back-to-back 100 averages from
100.
Taylor against Wilson. Either Scott sees him as a big threat, or there's a personal vendetta in there somewhere.
Well, Scott tends to find this muse against
41.
certain players. There's no rhyme or reason for it, but every now and then he will just find something against them.
Maybe he doesn't like Gok
125.
because, of course, Carl Wilson's nickname is Gok, which is terrible.
Maybe he's not a fan of Activia yogurts.
60.
That's a bit of a sidestep.
Other yogurt brands are available, but just not advertised by Gok One.
30.
Either that or he doesn't like a certain radio station's breakfast program.
I'm kind of glad that we can put an end to this conversation now, because Evans is about to be on a finish.
60.
Just. Wilson's arguably in a better position here. He's more likely to win the leg from this position. Especially now. How has that gone in? Honestly. How on earth has that gone in the treble 20?
100. Lee require 170.
It was a very small gap, and he was able to nettle away through it. Evans isn't going to find the big fish. Wilson should at least get a dart at the bullseye from here to win leg 1.
134.
And he may have to take out whatever target he has to win this leg should he get a dart to win this leg. It's going to be 2 at double 16. But neither that or double 8 could be found. And so Evans, with that perfect setup,
Lee required
has left himself on double 18 to steal this first leg, you feel.
Well, that is a successful shot, and if I may say so,
game on.
One of the faults of Lee's opponents tonight is that they have given him too many darts at double. He's now had 40 darts at double this evening, and his 4th game is not even finished.
131.
We've just talked about Taylor and how many darts he's had. Lee has had twice as many.
And it's come back to cost him.
57.
Come back to cost opponents. As I say, 4 from 17 that game against Ron Meulenkamp. Missed a plethora of darts at double.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
140.
Because Evans had 17 darts at a double. Ron had 10 less than that. You can't just grade someone on percentages of shots taken
45.
out. You've got to look at how many opportunities are created. It's the same in lots of other sports. It's the same in basketball. It's the same in football. They do this in baseball where it's getting people onto third base. That's an opportunity to get an RBI. In darts, it's about darts at double. How many opportunities do you get?
140. Cole, you require 130.
Well, Wilson should get plenty of opportunities from here to level the match up.
94.
Well, he's himself on double 18 when he comes back. What kind of inroads can Evans make here?
I like to see that. That's a veteran move right there. He's obviously not comfortable, so slow exhalation.
81.
That's a way of regulating your breathing.
You require 36.
More like it from Wilson. He draws level.
Third leg is Lee to throw
Gok
first.
makes it 1-1.
Game on.
What is that badge on his right sleeve?
That, I believe, is the badge of the Kent Fire Service.
96.
Which his dad used to work for once upon a time.
$140.
I'm both surprised by it and I kind of like it. He's incredibly patriotic, isn't he? It's a bit of a dirty word these days, isn't it? Being a patriot.
Well, put it this way, if Kent declared independence, it wouldn't surprise me if Carl Wilson ran for president.
Hi, I'm Carl. I'm
91.
president of Kent. Just trying that out. Nope, not getting it. Identical on the finishing, as you can see.
140.
If Kent did become its own independent nation, what would be the capital?
Canterbury.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Don't think we'll be having this conversation today.
30.
Trust me, it's not going to be Ashford.
Or Sandwich, or Maidstone, or
Oh,
Gillingham.
don't diss the sandwich. Don't diss the sandwich. That's a beautiful place.
95.
And don't say anything against Deal either, because that's where Ross Smith's from. Beautiful part of the world. That's where Royal St George's is. The world famous golf course, which has held
70.
many a famous Open Championship. Oh, that's a bit close for comfort, isn't it, Lee?
38.
Just be grateful that Wilson's not on a finish.
Yeah, following that 13 dart from the previous leg, things have just dovetailed a little bit. But Evans doing what he needs to do on throws so far. We
57.
often say about
Lee required
at this
32.
level, if you can hold in 6 visits, you tend to win more legs than you lose, as Wilson's just beginning to become rather flustered by the heat on stage.
Game shot
Well,
on
that's
the
a
third
2-1 lead
leg,
for
Lee
Evans. And what you've just seen from Wilson is a mopping of the brow, courtesy of the
Game
sleeve. So maybe he doesn't have a towel on there. I get the feeling he's going to have one a little bit later tonight. Now think about it this way. When there's a heat wave,
42.
which there has been in this country twice, thrice now, over the last 6 weeks, think about how difficult it is to sleep in a country with no air conditioning. Just think how difficult it is when things are sticky and uncomfortable and you've got to play darts.
60.
Your concentration is constantly tested. It is about as difficult as it gets
137.
here at the Live Lounge. This time of year, you have to work really hard for every victory.
68.
For that is the challenges that come with playing at the elite end of the sport. Can't just play in winter.
140.
It's not a winter sport. It's a 12 months a year sport. Honestly, try playing ranking events in Australia when it's really warm. I've played Opens
46.
in Punchbowl, New South Wales. I've played the Central Highlands Open in Ballarat, Victoria. You can't even consider how hot they were.
100.
Punchbowl was 44 outside. Central Highlands of Ballarat was 42 outside, and the doors were open.
And that hot that actually the condition of the board changes.
55. Carl, you require 82.
Furman's up, Harden's up.
That is not the end of the world. But he doesn't have to go for the bullseye with the last dart. Doesn't need to in the end because he's got the treble. Nice kill.
Shot on the
Love
fourth
it.
leg. Cole Wilson.
Really thought that out.
Fifth leg is Lee to throw first.
Didn't panic.
Game on.
Really good mentality there from a very impressive player.
What a shot from Wilson to level up at 2-2.
125. 134.
I think somebody should make a mascot for Carl, you know. They should get him a little mini volleyball and draw a face on it with some weeds for a head.
125.
Just like the volleyball in Castaway, because it's called Wilson.
I was thinking more the dog from Friday Night Dinner.
45.
I've gone for a movie that everybody knows around the world, and you're talking about something that is
99.
very little known. Friday Night Dinner is... Explain what it is.
It is a very good TV comedy program,
135.
which was made and produced in the United
Lee require
Kingdom. Featured the late great
152.
Paul Ritter and Tamsin Gregg and Tom Rosenthal, the son of the great broadcaster Jim.
116.
And yet again, Lee Evans is finding his way through a difficult situation and looking very calm doing it. If he wins this
79.
match,
Lee require 36.
there will be a 4-point cushion between second and third.
Game shot on the
3-2
fifth
lead
leg,
for Evans. He's one leg away from
Sixth
winning
leg is
16
Carl to
legs
throw
this
first.
evening.
Game on.
And 16 legs won in a session means 8 points.
And it would put him to within any win
95.
tomorrow night to qualifying himself into Saturday's final with the earlier kickoff time of 5:30. 5:30 kickoff? That means Saturday night darts.
$140.
Lee Evans was third favourite, right?
Yes.
He's making a bit of a
81.
mockery of that, isn't he?
It's not been a great day for the bookies, hasn't it, today?
Yeah, but it's not over yet. It's only 50% of the way.
Yeah, 11-4 was Lee Evans before a dart
140.
was thrown earlier on this evening.
That looked like value at the time, and you're not going to get those odds for the rest of the group.
Put it this way, Ron Moonenkamp, the player
95.
who's favourite to win this group, finds himself sat at the bottom overnight.
He's not going to enjoy that. He'll come out swinging tomorrow night.
100.
Or should I say tonight. His first game will be against Scott Taylor.
Which, in fairness, is probably the right time to get Scott.
Maybe it is.
100. Lee require 121.
This would be some way to finish the night off. 51 ball.
Not to be, but
97. Carl, you require
there's
130.
Carl Wilson got a 130 in the locker to salvage his night. Triple leaves the ball. Finds it, bullseye, to take us all the way just underneath.
105.
How many times this evening have we seen someone go for a shot like that when Evans is already on a double?
It's double six.
Game
And
shot.
that is
And
the
a match,
completion
Lee Evans.
of the card for Lee Evans. 4 games, 4 wins. And it was ever so good from Evans. The perfect night for the man from the southwest. And he had to evade an average 9 points better than his. But all that matters is the 4 legs in the ledger. He wins 4-2. He's completed the card. 4 wins out of 4. 8 points to Lee Evans' name overnight.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break we saw Lee Evans complete the card on night 1 of Group B, getting the better of Carl Wilson by 4 legs to 2. So let's get confirmation of how things ended up in that group overnight. And as you can see, Lee Evans top of the table. 4 games, 4 wins, 8 points. Taylor, excuse me, frog in my throat. The best of the rest was 6 points to his name. Had an average just underneath the 109 mark earlier on tonight. Richie Burnett, Ron Moonenkamp and Carl Wilson picking up just 1 win apiece over the course of the evening's play. Perfect night for Lee Evans then in Group B. He joins myself and Paul Nicholson here in the studio. Many congratulations, Lee. Good night's work. And we were kind of talking off air. There may not have been anything that was really, really high, but the level that you produced all night was flatline at a high enough level that it was just too much for opponents.
Yeah, it was a weird night. It was more like at the start, I thought my scoring was okay for a lot of it. My doubles were shocking, but they have been shocking for quite a few weeks now. But even at the last 2 games, my scoring steadily drifted out as well. But I think everyone didn't actually play their best games against me tonight. So I think I've got away with one, but I think I've not played that great either, but I'll take it.
It felt like a real case of doing the right things at the right time tonight for Lee.
One of the best things about Lee's game is that he doesn't panic. And even when things aren't going 100% according to plan, he just absorbs it and he moves on. So yes, he had 17 darts at double in his first game. He managed to get a win. So the doubles aren't perfect. And he had more darts at double than anybody tonight. So steady wins the day in Group B more often than not. Other people have had bigger averages. Some people have had more flashy performances. But when you flatline in the high 80s and you're doubling enough, it can do a lot of damage.
What was the particular facet of your game tonight that you were most pleased with?
Wasn't pleased with any of it, to be honest. Not absolutely none of it. But it's been better than what I have been the last week. I did have a bit of a break between the ADC vaults that I've been playing lately. I had about 3 or 4 weeks off, did other things. I came back, I played for a week last week, and I was atrocious. It was embarrassing to play some of the darts I was throwing. And I haven't played since Saturday before I turned up here. It got on my nerves that much how bad I was playing. I was like, I ain't going to bother practicing. I'm just going to turn up here, see how it goes. And it felt better by an absolute mile than what I had been playing last week. But it was still a little bit, a lot of it was, it felt nice, like it was comfortable. But then a lot of my doubles were still really annoying me, to be fair.
However, you say there's nothing that you liked about it, but what can you draw on? Maybe in terms of improvement, what can you draw on going into tomorrow's play?
Oh, just winning. I absolutely love winning. I'm still chuffed with it. If I did exactly the same tomorrow and I'm disappointed with it and I still win, I'll be happy with that. But I love winning. That's the main thing. But I want to put in a good performance as well. That's what gives you a bit more confidence as well. Winning's lovely, but a bit more knowing you've played well, knowing you've given the other guy a bit of a hiding because he's played well. They haven't played that well against me tonight. And they've let me off a little bit in some crucial legs maybe when they've given me a leg when it could have been a 3 each, possibly even 4-3 to them. But that's the way it went, to be fair.
Well, we'll have another chat with you in just a second, Lee. We're going to have a look at what else has happened tonight. And look, apart from that defeat to Lee Evans, Scott Taylor, we had that average of 109 in there. It felt like after a slow start to the evening, he just exploded into life.
I don't think anybody's surprised by what you get from Scott Taylor. I think after winning against Richie Burnett from 3-0 down, he thought that he dodged a few bullets in that one because Richie had 10 match darts. And then later in the night, something tends to click with Scott once a day. So it's usually against Carl Wilson. And on Wednesday, it was, I'll average 102 against him. Today, I'll crank that up by 6.5 points. So I don't know what's going on there, but it seems as if Carl is getting Scott at exactly the wrong time. So he can be flashy, but every now and again, Scott's going to average about 75, but he can average about 40 more than that. But that's just the way he is, and that's why it's so great to watch.
Very quickly, Lee, 1 win required for you tomorrow. What's going to be the process then between now and then to get yourself in the vein of form you feel like you can actually get yourself into?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be exactly the same as what it is today. turn up roughly the same time, just prepare properly as well. I'm obviously on first tomorrow, whereas I was on third today, so I had an extra half an hour break today. I'll do the same thing. I'll just relax most of the time. I didn't practice. As soon as I played the first game, I didn't practice at all in the back room. It was just because where I was in a 1-game break, I did a 1-2 game break. I had something to eat in between. That's all I did. Didn't practice at all between games all day, which normally that's not what I do, well, anymore. But yeah, it worked out well tonight.
Well, it's been a great night for yourself. Many congratulations. Thank you for popping up. And hey, if you're not pleased with any facet again, you can win 4 from 4. There's certainly plenty of room to manoeuvre. Nico, thank you. We're back for another double shift tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Plenty coming up across Pluto TV. And actually, you can hear a little bit more from Lee Evans in a few moments' time, because we're going to be talking to him as part of the Tungsten Talk series. John O'Shea, well, he was the favourite to get out of Group C this afternoon. Now, he's got a bit of work to do when that gets back underway from 1 o'clock. And then finals night is at the earlier time of 5:30 on Saturday evening. So do make that note for your diary. Somebody tell Richie Burnett, by the way, if he does qualify, because there is a genuine chance he might not be here. And then we're going to see Andy Hamilton in action as the final week of qualification in Series 14 gets underway Monday from 9:30. But it was a case of good Evans here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Lee is top of the table. Bye from us.
The new Modus Super Series champion.
Oh my word! It's another incredible moment tonight.
Jeff Smith.
It's match start.
5-star performance.
Ball for big